機械体覚醒、それは茨の道。でも指揮官、今はあなたの手を握れる。だからその未来に後悔はないわ。
Yo, what's going on everybody? Xanthos Vice here, and we are back with some more Punching Gray Raven. I hope you guys have a great day so far. Where we last off, we had started off on the next floating record, Soaring Beyond, in which we're basically going through the events of Han Ying after what had occurred in Kowloon. But yeah, I'm guessing it takes place a bit even further past that. But anyway, disregarding that. Let me see. Yeah, so Han Ying had gotten a new frame and something had occurred over at the Church of Machina. We don't know exactly what happened, but supposedly around the same time, the Church of Machina had lost contact with Veronica, who was another one of their main core members of the group. As to why, don't know, but it has to do with the SDC-39, if I'm remembering, who was the former hanged man of the group. So now with them and even Babylonia receiving a signal from their commandant and Liv, along with Han Ying, are investigating exactly what is going on here, and it definitely seems to be a unique scenario, considering it's a place where conflicts had already dominated the area by that point. I guess us trying to restore it to a certain extent, but again, it's never going to be that easy, right? But yeah, we got a couple things to talk about before we continue with this. First of all, I want to be completely frank with the Nintendo Direct that happened yesterday. It was pointless. It was pointless. Also, shout out to Marty, PCSR. I will check out his stream, his birthday stream, so go give him a shout out, tell him happy birthday, even though it was yesterday. Saw that he had done both the Nintendo Direct reaction and he was playing Peak with a couple of his friends, so good for him. But yeah, the Nintendo Direct, dude, really, what was even the fucking point? At most they announced like 5 new games and everything else was just a revamped version of a game they already had for Switch. It's like, really, they could have just put out a newsletter by that point. Or, like I had commented on the stream that I was watching regarding it, just call it the Nintendo Switch 2 Direct only, because it was mainly just for that. Like, what was even the point? And also, this was supposed to be Mario's 40th anniversary, right? So, you're telling me you didn't release new titles, but you just revamped games that they already had, like Super Mario Galaxy or Odyssey, whichever one it is. I forget what the actual name of that game was. The Mario Tennis. And it's like, bro, can y'all just... Why? And also DLC for Donkey Kong Burnett. It hasn't even been out that long yet, at least I would think. Because, like, I don't think they need a DLC yet. It's like, is it something that's really needed? I mean, I guess just because it's still relevant, maybe they decided to keep the interest there, but I don't know. It just seems kind of pointless, in my opinion, anyway. And I did see the, what's it called? I saw the trailer for the next stuff regarding Honkai Star Rail. I'm honestly kind of confused at the state of where it's going, because it's kind of making it seem like Evernight was having this own plan of her own that was like completely different from what Lygus and Serena and Phenom were doing. But it's like, well, I was there with Force like that even in the first place, so none of us even knew about it, supposedly. Again, it probably just needs more clarity. But I will say the one thing we can be thankful for, and this is a very small positive from that we get the new Dan Heng for free. Because I'm honestly gonna say it, he doesn't look that different. Like, don't get me wrong, his outfit looks cool, but it's like, compared to how everyone else has had a glow up, I mean, not that many, but it's like, when you look at the difference from like, when the original March 7th to the Hunt version of herself to Evernight, that's at least something that's like, I can believe it's a completely different character each time. And with the regular March 7th changing paths, it's like, that's cool. But you're telling me before Dan Heng even gets a second path, he's getting a whole completely different character that doesn't look too different from his Imbibitor Lunai one. Like, really. So, I think at the very least, it is deserving that we get him for free. Because like I said, if not, I was going to have to call bullshit on that. Like, completely. And I did see a bit of a more the preview material for the next stuff for Punishing Grey Raven for Bianca's. And again, I am kind of curious what's going to happen here, because it does make me believe that Chico is somehow still alive, but again, the events from her Stigmata chapter would have already occurred, right? So, but then again, I guess we haven't really confirmed that it's like Bianca completely like eliminated Chico, so I guess maybe there's that possibility there, but I'm also wondering how like Vonica could also be involved, because they did have that one moment with him, but again, I guess that could have been like just those moments before when working together with Lithos. But yeah, aside from that, we'll just go ahead and continue with the story. I'll see if we can finish it today. We do still have a good percent of it left to go, because I think we're at like, is it 41 or 44%? I honestly don't remember. Or 42. Okay. Let's see. Oh, right, yes, because there are 17 parts to this. I guess we'll see. It'll depend on how much more we actually have. So yeah, let's see. Right, Han Ying was trying to negotiate that she's on their side and not on Veronica's. But then the reformist group of humans that want to completely eliminate all the constructs were trying to force the bystander group, led by Yulia, to actually take part in it. It's like, dude, really? You're gonna try to reinstate her? Who's to say you're not just gonna use her as a scapegoat in case all things fail? Like they did the same with her father. Like, I wouldn't throw out the window to think, like, oh, they're gonna try to make her the scapegoat, or push all the responsibility to her so Veronica keeps all her focus on Yulia, while they can do whatever the fuck they want. Like, probably detonate the whole city if they have to. Or I'm planning the punishing virus, though I'd wish they wouldn't have to go that far, if that is the case. Because that would just be even worse. Because it's like, the one place in the world that's supposedly supposed to be safe from the punishing would be taken over by it. Then what would they do? Because I'll be honest, if they actually did do that, I don't think Babylonia definitely wouldn't take them in. Dimitri, the aerospace mechanoid, shifts his gaze toward the frail young girl who's distanced herself from the others. Miss Eula. Letting out a soft sigh, Yulia waves her hand once more. When that sounds his approval, Dimitri turns to Han Ying and speaks deliberately. Pardon my forwardness, Han Ying. While I'm grateful for your help with Neo, there were still some matters that I would like you to clarify. Back at the Foundation Plaza, I saw you entering the city with Governor Alexei. Do you know him? I ran into him in the woods outside the city. It appeared that he had been recently attacked by humans protected by mechanoids at that time. Then I came to the city with him. He waits patiently as the mechanoid in front of her processes her words for truthfulness. His quick flickering. Han Ying, thank you for your honesty. A brief green light flashes across Dimitri's screen, verifying that Han Ying is telling the truth. This could be favorable for us. So the one you're hiding from is Governor Alexei. My bad. I know. I'm confusing myself with the pronunciation. I'm just trying to figure out like how to actually pronounce it. Because it could be Alexei or Alexei, but I don't know how it would be in this case. Because like, if they at least voiced it out, then I could try to get used to it. But it's whatever. That's correct. But Alexei is human. Why do we have to hide here? Why do we have to struggle so hard? Just to live? She looks around at dozens of people squeezed into the cramped factory floor. Despite being called a sanctuary, the facility is so rudimentary that multiple people must share a single blanket for warmth. Though Alexei is human, he bears the label of machine, which is why he's targeted by humans but protected by mechanoids. He's nothing but a puppet, manipulated to maintain the facade that humans are still in charge of Aerospace City, acting as a convenient intermediary between mechanoids and humans. The one we really need to steer clear of is the true ruler of Aerospace City standing behind them, Veronica. Right, because I guess in this kind of scenario, even if people came here like Cao Long or the ARU and they came to question them, I mean, they wouldn't, but in the event that they did, and they were wondering where the humans were, they could be like, no, we're keeping them for protection because even the front lines are guaranteed, which would be decent logical reasoning to give that kind of explanation, because the punishing is very dangerous and easy to affect people in multiple ways, especially with the evolution of the red tide as well. It's like you can't guarantee humanity's safety from the punishing even less than before. I guess would be their reason for doing so. And again, probably just as a placeholder to buy time until Veronica does what she needs to do here. Veronica, you know her. Yula fixes on you with a piercing stare, and resting ready at the holstered gun at her side. Is Veronica the friend you've been looking for, Han Ying? I'm sorry. I never expected things would turn out like this. To be precise, I never actually met her. I only know her by name. She arrived here a long time ago to search for one of our kin. At her point of death, she was never heard from again. The place where I live suffered turmoil. When I ended up in this area by chance, I heard some news about her, so I came looking. Nor did she know that Veronica was directly... Wait, am I reading the same thing? I'm kind of confused. To scrutinize Han Yi's opinion, Yuli gradually lets her guard down. Mechanoids don't lie. While they may sidestep certain subjects and employ awkward evasion tactics, they don't lie. Wait, let me check. I'm kind of confused. How's it going? Yo, what's up, Ryuria? I'm doing alright. Just doing another Punishing Grey Raven stream before I have a whole year of playing this game. This fellow mechanoid of yours has managed to overthrow the entire regime at Aerospace City. You set up mechanoid-led rule all by yourself. Since then, there have been minor skirmishes between humans and mechanoids. However, today's direct attack on Alexei, Veronica holds authority over the city is nothing short of a blatant provocation. As the conflicts keep escalating, things are only going to get tougher from here. Dima should start getting ready to relocate to another hideout. Understood, Miss Young. Yeah. Something else to... Oh yeah, it did say that, didn't they? Watching Django and... What is that? Never heard of it. By the way, Han Ying, about that other mechanoid Veronica was looking for. Is it? No, that's the thing. I think I'm on the wrong one. Wait, am I actually on the wrong one? Oh, it what? God damn it. I was like, pretty sure I've heard the same thing. I'm such an idiot. My bad, my bad. Great, I wasted like 8 minutes on that. Terrific. If it's a... Huh. Interesting. It's a unique premise. What a lively scene. Despite her words, there isn't a trace of liveliness reflected in her expression. The Kowloon mechanoid, the organized resistance force, and the 2 officers from Babylonia. It's a Tarantino. Oh, okay, I see. Explains the uniqueness. The lady from Kowloon comes looking for someone, while the resistance group comes seeking alliances. As for you 2 officers, while I haven't directly asked about your intentions, I have a fair idea of why you're here. Since you didn't bring any notable combat units with you, it's obvious you're not here to join the resistance in battle. I suppose you're just on a reconnaissance mission of this city. Isn't it frustrating, getting pulled into such a mess out of the blue? Please, I'm the commandant. I get pulled in shit I'm unrelated to all the time. But hey, I mean, there's a big payoff from it, so I'm not complaining. That's exactly why we need your assistance. How flattering that someone bedridden like me could be of any use to you. His voice remains perfectly calm, showing no emotion. Despite this facility's remote location, basing your judgment on the city's situation, you actually possess quite a bit of intelligence. But in the end, I'm just someone confined to a wheelchair. If not for that, we might have met at the resistance camp instead of you having to settle for this rundown shack. She remains non-committal, as if waiting for sufficient leverage to emerge. What are your wishes? It's to bring peace back to the city and shield its people from war, isn't it? Close her eyes, taking a moment to contemplate. I am willing to provide essential intelligence. Just that and nothing more. Thank you for your understanding, Yulia. Regarding Veronica, the true ruler of this place. What? They put a lot of quotation marks here for some reason. They didn't have nearly this excessive amounts before. Do you know anything about her? The resistance leader might have stretched the truth on many counts, but there's one thing he was spot on about. By siding with humans, you will never get the chance to speak with her directly. Her prejudice against humans runs far deeper than you can imagine. That's one reason why, despite holding real power, she's installed a human puppet as a figurehead. Essentially, it's a way to minimize the hassle of dealing with humans directly. Ah, I see. Just someone to be like a barricade for her while she focuses on her own little project. I mean, true, because considering she'd still have to focus on the city, if she didn't have someone else to do the job, she'd be too busy having to quell all that rage and the nonsense going on. And that's the thing, it's like, even with the thing with SDC-39, it's like, would that really been enough to push her that far to this kind of state? But I mean, to be fair, I guess it could have been worse where she could have just literally been executing every single human just for the sake of it, you know? Going for the eye for an eye tactic, but she's not going that far. Which is usually something like an Ascendant would do. At least some of them that we've met so far. So I guess there is at least some reason with her. And that's putting it very lightly. Of course, there could also be an opportunity for us. That traitor, Alexei. He might be someone we could have a real conversation with. The governor? Yes. Despite being branded a human traitor, he's done a lot to alleviate the tensions between humans and mechanoids, ever since they assumed control of the city. Initially, under Veronica's rule, humans were subjected to mechanoid work standards, working 20 hours a day with only 4 hours allocated for recharging. It was Alexei who continuously pushed Veronica's boundaries, eventually negotiating it down to 12. But according to the Resistance, people now have to complete a full 24-hour shift before having a rest. Yes, but I said it was only the beginning. Recent policies have become increasingly harsh. Working hours have been stretched to a full 24 hours, with only minimal rest allowed after finishing a shift. Ah, so something happened that made her change that way. Again, could just be the situation. Like, maybe she figured the sooner she got this done, the less likely she'd be detected by an outside force like Babylonia. Human cargo teams are also being forced to enter corrupted zones to gather resources. This is why the resistance have been growing more radical recently. Ah, right. So that would explain how they ended up that far to where Han Ying was. Because again, even that was a dangerous area. Because like she said, those were corrupted zones. If it was just regular areas with some concentration of punishing, that'd be one thing. Because at least you can use the serums and stuff to alleviate it. But in corrupted zones, that's way too risky. Because that like increases the chance of death from like a 50-50 to maybe like a 75-25%. I believe Alexei can only act as a mediator. Though he may not have the power to directly sway Veronica's authority, he can still negotiate to some degree. If you're thinking about having a conversation, it's pretty much your best bet. I mean, I can see that working. Because true, it's like the fact that he at least has been mediating in some way. And that's the thing. Like, if it was just from one of the other mechanoids from around the city we heard this from, it wouldn't really be plausible because it could be a he said, she said thing. But if it's coming from someone on the human side, actually like giving him a pass on this, it actually seems more reliable as a source of intel that he could be reasoned with. But again, I still don't really understand why they deemed him a traitor. I guess just by the point that not only is he on her side, but the fact that it's like, even though he had tried hard at the start, he just couldn't do anything and Veronica practically has complete control. But even then, it's like, that wouldn't still necessarily mean that the humans would, like, let it go, right? Especially after all of this. Thanks for sharing this with us. As that settled in, shadows begin to stretch across Yulia's face, filling her features in darkness. I'm telling you all this just to show you how difficult your goal truly is. The conflicts in the city are escalating by the day. It's already a struggle just to survive amid the chaos. I won't help you any further. All I want is to look out for myself. I mean, that's reasonable. Especially since she's a person of interest. Someone who only looks out for themselves wouldn't be so well informed about the city.
Commandant, what should we do now?
Have a proper talk with Alexei. Sokovsky Aerospace City holds things Babylonia needs. From the launch data of Dawn 3 to the fusion reactors stored here, and even Bifrost itself. Regardless of the city's current stance, establishing contact with its ostensible leader is imperative to gather further insights. This action carries inherent risks. It's worth attempting since you have the means to retreat safely if necessary.
Even if Alexei agrees to the peace proposal, Veronica, the one with real authority, may not necessarily follow his suggestion.
I mean, true, but at least it can potentially get us a chance to meet her face to face and try to talk things out. Because again, it's like, she could be unreasonable and like eliminate every human here, but she hasn't gone that far. Meaning there is a chance. Not likely, but there is still the possibility.
Whether we succeed or not,
We can still gather new intelligence from him. Of course, having a direct conversation with Veronica would greatly improve our odds. Yeah, see, I'm telling you.
I'll try to speak with Veronica. Han Ying? Commandant, live. I don't want to see the city descend into conflict between humans and mechanoids either. I can speak to Veronica. There are a few things I need to confirm with her anyway.
Based on the city history Dimitri shared, Veronica's anger is not entirely groundless. I'm really sorry. I bet. Really sorry for what humans have done to harm the mechanoids.
No, that's not your fault, Commandant. It's not that I can't understand Veronica's anger. Those mechanoids are my kin after all.
Look of hesitation appears Han Ying's eyes, but vanishes just as quickly.
I'm merely a bystander in all of this. While I can feel the sorrow of the mechanoids, I've also witnessed the suffering of humans.
The dark chocolate in her bag stands as a testament to that short-lived friendship.
It might sound hypocritical, but I really want to work toward peace in this conflict. Even in a place like this, the possibility of humans and mechanoids coexisting still stands. Don't you think?
Good to have her on our side. And I mean, I guess it makes sense because Cao Long is a good testament to that. Regardless of whether you're a construct or a human, as long as you were from Cao Long and held the spirit of that country, they were united. Here's at the factory in the distance. Refugees are preparing to relocate while Dimitri, having settled Yulia, navigates busily through the crowd.
So, I believe we can figure out a way for mechanoids and humans to live together peacefully in this city. I'll talk to Veronica as a fellow mechanoid. We share a common background. I'm sure she'll at least hear what I have to say.
Leave it to you then.
Rest assured. That's our current plan, Cervantes.
Bifrost interference persists, causing the communication signal to fade in and out. I'm heading to your location. What's the situation with the church? It's complicated. Explain when we meet. Everyone is fine. By the way, should I tell the Grey River Commander about the key? You can, Sage said. The Grey River Commander can be trusted. I see. Good. At least we'll be able to figure it out with that, because, again, to be fair, she wouldn't really be able to do that by herself, and even with Cervantes, we can't guarantee they'd be able to do it. If they at least had someone like Spooner, who was with Stealth, or with Chariot with his power, they'd be able to. For how you can continue speaking, the communication cuts off again. At least the message got through. And now, he's up at the administrative hall nearby. According to Yulia's intel, Veronica often handles her affairs there. The ripples spread from the center of her visual module, while a subtle ache seeps through her sensors. Could it be the after effects of forcing my frame to activate? Am I gonna have to go to her mind again? No boy.
ここはベロニカの夢。無意識によそ者を排除しようとしているわ。私を導いてくれるかも。でもその分拒絶反応も強まるはず。ここにはいくつか無境のかけらがあるかもしれないわ。これは SDC39。先代の吊るされた男。
星空、紛争とパニシングから隔絶された場所。磁力加速軌道はこの夢を叶えるために生み出された。天国へと続く橋、天国の橋と呼ばれるゆえん。修復された日には機械体はきっと人間と共にあの正解にたどり着けるだろう。その日が待ち遠しい。
いけない。自意識の防衛システムが作動したわ。弦の調べは指令と眉の金箔、乱ルと解く、轟音に知れ、罰をなけ、強化を踏み砕く。これ以上進むと無境の拒絶反応が激化する。でもここで立ち止まるわけにはいかないわ。
From up here we can see every ocean current, every mountain range, every forest and field. We can even make out the outlines of big cities. You really should see the night side. It's breathtaking. Pros scatter across the Terminator line, the city lights. See to be breathing, blinking, smiling, then fading into the darkness. Those lucky enough to have been to space never get tired of saying our Earth, she's a masterpiece. Like Zay Leonov, cosmonaut painter of the Newtonian era. First human to walk in space.
彼らは私にエラーが発生したのでしばらく停止する必要があると言った。一日も早く天国の橋を修復しないと。
わからない。人間のどこにあなたをそこまでさせるほどの価値が。
SDC39 が故障した。あれは無境にまた拒絶反応が起きてるわ。強化を踏み砕く。残響に乗せて全て滅びなさい。 べは連綿と復調しなくちゃ。眉の金箔ランルと解く高温に散れ。挑戦は霊獣す。挑戦は霊獣す。強化を踏み砕く。残響に乗せて全て滅びなさい。無境の中心に近づくほど危険が増していく。だとしてもあの違和感と原因をしっかり突き止めなくちゃ。
Wait, I want to read what they say. Mechanoid with such thoughts must be destroyed. Plenty more, so it doesn't matter. Warning, unknown intruder detected. Initiating virus elimination protocol.
今日は楽しいことがあった。私は機械協会の友達と知り合った。彼らに名前をもらった。吊るされた男。意味は理解できないが、すごく気に入っている。うまくいけばじきにもう一人の新しい友達が来る。その子の名前はベロニカ。みんな仲良くしてやってほしい。
私が間に合っていれば。
私が定期検査に行けば機械体のみんなが検査を受けずに済むらしい。今回の検査で私のプログラムエラーがようやく修復されるかもしれないし、それにしても天国の橋はまだ完成してない。あなたたちが人間と一緒に正解にたどり着けたら地球に写真を送ってほしい。私は多分一緒に行けないかも。
サンキュー、行かないで。
SDC3 級先代の吊るされた男はこうして犠牲に他の機械体の同胞を守るために自ら人間に殺されるなんて。ベロニカの人間に対する怒りの源はここかも。やはりあの違和感は錯覚じゃない。誰かが仕向けたものだったのね。復調しなくちゃ。弦の調べはレ四面楚歌眉の金箔ランルと解く高温に散れ。挑戦は霊獣す。挑戦は霊獣す。強化バチをなけ。残響に乗せて全て滅びなさい。意識データが増え続けている。これ以上いけないということ。
I see. So he was actually one of the more like optimistic ones of the group, right? Someone who actually like believed in what Nanami said and the fact that humans and mechanoids should get along, because that's the kind of thing we have kind of seen where it's like they don't all align together in the same like philosophy that humans and mechanoids can get along and survive together. But it's like they can at least believe that Nanami is a good person and that she does care at least a very good amount to the mechanoids, that she doesn't want to leave anyone behind. I think it's that kind of charisma that, at the very least, that's what they follow. Maybe not everything to a T is what she hopes, but at least to some degree. Like Trailblazer, he doesn't give a shit about humans, but at the very least, he's willing to follow Nanami. He's not just going out on a killing spree against all humans. Even the same with Mother as well, because she at least wants to believe in the words that Nanami says. She also doesn't like go on a vengeance, making plans to like take over a lot of their conservation areas or anything to that degree. I guess he was just one of the better ones who was just unfortunate in a situation like that. There goes stick retention as the negotiation reaches an undeniable deadlock. Using your Babylonia background, Liv and you succeed in reaching out to the governor via the autonomous mechanoid station at the entrance of the administrative hall. However, his attitude proves to be quite bizarre. As a visitor from Babylonia, your starting point lies too far from the gravity well. The notion of kinship is nothing but empty rhetoric. Nevertheless, the young man's intentional manipulation of his bargaining chips is utterly perplexing. Your request for a meeting, he demands a secretive conversation, selects this unguarded location. Despite clearly holding all the aces, he still exhibits a clear sense of hesitation. Throughout the negotiation process, he had been outwardly enthusiastic about collaboration. However, as soon as specific details are broached, he swiftly resorts to dodge the conversation with a barrage of endless excuses. Consensus typically thrives on mutual benefit. Yet he casually brushes aside every generous offer you present. It's precisely that holds his true concern. I don't think you'll be content being just a puppet, Alexei. This has nothing to do with Veronica. Resources and assistance? Is that really all Babylonia has to offer as leverage? The conversation circles back to where it started, far from a typical way a consultation or negotiation should unfold. So, what are your demands? I have no demands. Leave the Kalon mechanoid here, and you and your companion depart immediately. This city was designed to be independent from the start. I have the option to ensure that I do not pose a threat to Babylonia. Han Ying has her own will. I have no right to make decisions for her. As for the promise not to activate Bifrost, I need a way to verify it. Once the magnetic accelerator begins warming up, it unleashes high-energy reactions. Your sensor array should be able to confirm this without any difficulty. In the hours leading up to reaching the launch threshold, Aerospace City will be a sitting duck for long in its strikes. Once our little city no longer poses a threat, Babylonia will immediately lose interest. Permanently orbiting high above, bestowing rebirth, and meting out punishment as you deem appropriate. Instead of reclaiming the world, how satisfying is it to reign over it from the skies? He's twisting the truth. This isn't what you intended. What's he really trying to do? This isn't an accusation, but more like inflammatory propaganda. No, things shouldn't be like this. Alexa raises his arm like a showman commanding the audience's attention. It's already too late. The moment this thought flashes through your mind, the explosion ensues. Precisely calculated impact unleashes shockwaves and deafening rumbles. Shutters at the workshop contorts, but turn dissolve under external pressure. Shards of metal cascade like molten droplets, scalding the atmosphere as they disperse along erratic, intersecting trajectories toward the ground. The smoke and dust, heavily armed soldiers emerge. At the front stands the resistance leader, the same one who had previously approached Yulia. His order turns out unnecessary. Armed soldiers at the forefront already trained their sights on you the moment they breach the workshop. Instinctively, you reach up for your holster, yet regardless of how swift your reflexes are, it proves futile against such insurmountable odds. Check out the elite, always scheming something. In the end, we shouldn't have expected those high and mighty folks to care whether we live or die. The intruders close in on you rapidly. Liv! Signet stay put, Liv lowers her weapons and quietly retreats, positioning herself behind you. So, this was part of your plan too, Alexei. Resistance force lying in ambush has undoubtedly overheard your entire conversation with Alexei. It was exactly what he wanted, but stalling for this very moment. We all paid a price for our choices, whether it's you or me. Though Alexei succeeded in his provocation, he shows no inclination to escape. Insistently, he turns his gun toward the governor. I should have finished you off in the woods, you cunning traitor. On the ground, the young man's feet in contempt. Soldiers, emboldened by their leader's actions, begin to stir, march forward in Alexei's direction, but their boots seem to drag as if wary of stepping into invisible traps. Alexei spreads his arms wide like a crucified messiah, a smile spreading across his face. Having shown that he's unarmed, the governor plants his feet firmly and begins his persuasive speech once again. Before you stands the puppet of the mechanoids, the pawn who brought disaster to this city. He never bothers hiding his disdain for his own kin, relishing even at the slightest praise from the mechanoids. The speech resembles a poorly crafted character introduction in amateur playing. The furious audience delivers precisely the reaction he seeks. Rifle butts mercilessly strike his frail body, for even the two soldiers assigned to prevent your escape eager to partake in the beating. Curled up on the ground, Alexei lifts his gaze to meet yours once more. Despite the crowd, his pale face retains an eerie smile. Fusion gives way to dread as the lingering sense of wrongness solidifies into a vague revelation. Something's off. Under Puppet Master's control, as every movement grows more twisted, more unhinged. Hunting and her target could have been misled down the same path. What selfishness means. Hayi sneaks through the streets that were dead silent just moments ago. Faye had a convoy, and her recent discoveries suggest underlying tensions. She never expected the situation would escalate into open warfare this soon. Just hours after entering the city, the chaos is already spiraling out of control. Led by mechanical guards, engineering mechanoids force their way into deserted structures, running up humans en masse. People are torn from their work and forcibly taken away, expressions a blend of fear and bewilderment as they grapple to comprehend the unfolding events. Something doesn't add up. The Resistance wouldn't willingly reveal their refuge. Veronica still relies on humans for resource collection. The Bifrost project cannot just be halted on a whim. What could have happened? Martial law protocols in effect. Humans are advised to comply. Resistance will only create unnecessary procedural complications. Your cooperation is appreciated. The amplified announcement reverberates through the already deserted streets. Its authoritative command sounding oddly absurd in the silent emptiness. Hiding behind a charging station pillar, Han Ying overhears human voices drifting through the window from inside. Tin cans track this out. Track this down. Did the boss of operations slip up and give us away? Word is that the ambush went well. Give the traitor exactly what he deserved. The boss also caught the Babylonian commander red-handed, making shady deals with that traitor. Looks like Spiky Head's really pissed off this time. Now she's sending troops to hunt us down. Those people too. We've already fired our first shot at victory. They were gonna find us sooner or later anyway. Time to give them hell. The answer to her question comes quickly. It means Han Ying must reassess the situation once more. Perhaps the Resistance had planned to ambush Alexei all along, leading to this misunderstanding with the commander who went to negotiate. Perhaps something else happened in between. Whatever the case, the attempt to ease tensions through the governor's mediation has failed. Oh, I see. Well, to be fair, they did want Babylonia to send in physical support, right? So maybe they're trying to use the commandant as a bargaining chip, right? Even though they don't really know about the commandant, but willing to see how much they can get for him in order to stop Veronica. Because regardless of whether they could spin the tale about the fact that it's like, oh, she could be corrupted, or the fact that she's an ascendant, wouldn't really matter so much. Just the fact that humans are in danger and they need help, and that the commandant's there as well. Maybe they tried to use that to their advantage. And who knows, maybe even Alexei tried to do that as well. But maybe just to stir up more trouble while he does something else. She finds this outcome not surprising. Confronting Veronica has become all the more urgent. Will the Resistance ensure the Grey River Commandant's safety? Some disturbance erupts and carry from her thoughts back to the deserted streets. What's wrong with you? Keep shooting! There are way too many of them! We can't hold back their gunfire! The distinct cries quickly give way to silence, drowned out by the wiring of mechanoids. Shortly after, the resistance soldiers, restrained by engineering mechanoids, are escorted out of the building by mechanoid guards. As though a wind pummeled the ground, human heat signatures gradually disappear from the streets and behind walls, while more mechanoids continue their purge task.
I have to pick up the pace.
Despite your attempts at communication, the soldiers have clearly lost their composure. Mechanoids drawn by the commotion now surround the secret meeting site chosen by Alexei. Separate the fence line. Shoot on sight. The resistance leader hastily issues orders to engage the mechanoids, with no time to spare for the severely wounded Alexei. Seizing their numerical advantage, the mechanoids promptly extract the injured man from the scene. Damn it, he got away again! Keep those two from Babylonia under watch. Despite his orders, the increasing number of mechanoids flood in, the resistance soldiers become too overwhelmed to keep watch on this corner.
Liv, something's not right. Why aren't the mechanoids?
They're not using lethal force. The turmoil subsides as it becomes evident that the mechanoids are not here on a mission of slaughter. It appears they're following capture orders. After subduing the resistance soldiers, they escort them out of the workshop one by one. This restraint stands in stark contrast to Alexei's earlier display of madness. Veronica, who issued these capture orders, appears more rational than we expect. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like, I'm not saying that she's an angel or she's doing the best she can with what she has, but she could be much worse. That's the thing.
Martial law protocols in effect. Please do not resist.
The mechanoid astronaut helmet follows this kind into the workshop. His voice sounds unnaturally deep, as if grappling to imitate the synthetic announcements reverberating throughout the city. While they have to comply, you rise at Dimitri's instruction while Liv silently trailing behind. Trying to negotiate with that traitor. That's what you get for conspiring with him. Remember, you're human. Human! They're just a bunch of metal chunks. They don't understand our language. As the mechanoid lead the middle-aged man out of the workshop, he continues to twist around to shout in anger, refusing to stay silent. Well, glad he's gone. Dimitri reaches the outside of the workshop and uses the crowd as cover to slip around a corner. Then with his two captives in tow, he makes his way toward the dumping ground. Nice one. Armin has imagined many possible locations. Bunkers, hideouts, even sanctuaries like the chapel housing the Great Tower. She never foresaw that Veronica had been watching everything from above all along, perched atop a skyscraper.
At last we meet, Veronica. I'm sent by the church. The new hanged man, Han Ying. Mechanoid from Kowloon. I've seen you before, even though you're in a different frame now. There's trouble brewing in the church, and I've lost contact with the Great Tower. I need your assistance. If you're a guest from the church here to witness our little show, feel free to stay. I'll even reserve you a seat in the audience. As the church matters, those can wait. But if you intend to interfere, I won't show any mercy.
There's a glow flickers in Veronica's eyes.
Why do you have to capture those humans? So you're here to plead for them too. Han Ying, I assume you know the full story. Despite humans massacring mechanoids, you still opt to plead for them. If you wish to join me in building this true new world, you're welcome to stay. But if you insist on defending humans, then there's nothing left to discuss. This true new world. This city is a tower perched on the highest peak. We're on the brink of reaching out to the true new world. What about our fellow mechanoids who lost their lives? Mechanoids have no afterlife. The concept of death does not exist for mechanoids. However, if humans and mechanoids truly go to war, victory isn't guaranteed for us mechanoids, and with the punishing virus looming outside. I see you stand firm in your position.
You can finish your thought. Veronica turns and leaps off the building.
But is this truly the new world?
Confronted with the binding blizzard, Han stands where Veronica stayed moments ago, overlooking most of the city below. The mechanoids continue executing Veronica's orders while scattered resistance soldiers fire from afar. The ground is strewn with mechanoid parts and humanoid blood. Or human blood, I bet. Han's thoughts drift to that distant afternoon when her old frame activated in Xavier's laboratory.
As an organization, the church has worked since its beginning to unite the mechanoids. free us from suffering, and guide us all toward a future led by Sage. Even today, mechanoids from all around the world continue to face threats from humans, the corrupted, and the punishing, which I'm sure you are well aware of. You are right. I have been in a slumber until now precisely due to mankind's mindless hatred. But not all humans see mechanoids as tools and regard them with hate. Were it not for the connections I had with a few humans, I would not be who I am today. I would have lost the courage to live. I've made my promise to her to travel the world until we find Sage Machina, and a heart that would make us more than just codes in a program. This isn't how the new world should be.
Be it humans or mechanoids, lives are not replicable. Even though mechanoids' memories might just be a series of codes and data. The question itself is the answer. Even without the weight of a soul, mechanoids can still perceive the presence of life. What truly needs to be eliminated is blind hatred and senseless war, rather than allowing the wounds of hatred to spiral even into further chaos and death in the pursuit of their mending.
A new world like this is pointless, Veronica.
Swirling snow scatters in the wind, carrying away Han Ying's final whisper. Dimitri brings the consecrated human commander to their new hideout. They were cleverly chosen a different workshop. The refugees have been relocated here as well. The guard in a wheelchair sits alone in the shadows, gesturing for Dimitri to give his report.
The Resistance misinterpreted the commandant's attempt to negotiate a deal with Alexei, leading them to launch an attack. Why did you go out of your way to bring them back? They could have gotten you killed.
She clutches the wheelchair's armrest tightly, blue veins darkly visible against her skin. To all these years with Dimitri, she can't bear the thought of losing him.
I'm sorry, Miss Eula. I didn't really think it through. Dima. We don't need to get involved in this conflict. We've attempted to calm tensions for the refugees' sake, but now the conflict has clearly spiraled out of our control. Neither the Resistance nor Veronica are willing to listen to us anymore. I don't want to see you caught up in their conflict, Dima. You end up killed just like SDC-39.
Killian senses the mechanoid's silent protest.
I don't want to do this, but you promised you would follow my orders, Dimitri.
It's rare for her to use the mechanoid's full name instead of the nickname.
I order you to cease your interference in the conflict between Babylonia, the Resistance, and Veronica. I'm sorry, Miss Eula. I don't want to follow this order of yours. Dimitri! I apologize for letting you down, Miss Eula, but this city has been your home all this time. The alliance with Babylonia might be Aerospace City's last hope. For you, this place holds many memories, and for me, it's my entire world. I don't want to see the Resistance destroyed by Bifrost, nor do I want to see mechanoids continue to rule over humanity. I want.
Something stirs in his core as his modules wire at full speed. You can almost hear the spinning of his own cooling fans.
I want to cross that bridge alongside humans, to reach the other side of the starry sky. I want the city to be free of war, where all humans and mechanoids can live peacefully together, just like we once did long ago. I'm sorry, Miss Eula. You once said that selfishness means looking out for oneself more. This must be the selfishness I've been holding on to.
Wow, as DC-39's words resonated with him. Quarterly exchange. The setting sun hangs up low over the dumping ground of the city's outskirts, enveloping the metallic graveyard in a somber golden hue. In contrast to the city ablaze with firefights between hunters and their prey, this place feels like a separate world sealed off behind a mystical barrier. Veronica walks past numerous mechanoids' remains, each a testament to her kin's suffering sealed away in this place. This place has always been somewhere she wished to avoid. She was always known about all the secret hideouts scattered through this graveyard. The mechanoid that regularly pays his respects in the plaza shelters refugees and partially awakened machines who defy her orders. During the early days of the New Order's formation, Veronica turned a blind eye to Dimitri's defiance. Somewhere deep inside, she had realized that even mechanoids shouldn't be confined to a single interpretation of the future. However, the current turmoil no longer allows any room for tolerance and mercy. The The city, visitors from Babylonia will always be seen as outsiders. Humans, foolishly fighting against overwhelming odds, neither should nor can become obstacles in her path. As for those mechanoids who believe they possess independent consciousness, hacking into them is merely child's play for an awakened machine like her. Grip tightens further around the lance. Yuli and Dimitri seem to be arguing on the other side, but the noise from the crowd makes it impossible for you to discern what they're saying.
What should we do next?
How's the comm status?
The connection's still unstable. I managed to send out a brief report, but establishing communication at the right moment will be quite difficult.
With just the two of us, it'll be hard to hold out much longer. But if Babylonia's military gets involved, it might escalate the conflict even further. Any word from Han Ying?
Nothing yet.
Dimitri and Yulia seem to be having a little dispute, after which Dimitri quietly slips away from the hideout. Still able-bodied refugees form a defensive line along the perimeter, yet their disorganized arrangements starkly contrast with the disciplined formations of the resistance forces. The hideout is no longer secure. The situation grows more dire by the minute. If I can successfully convince Veronica, however, the chances are dismally slim. Immediately dismiss the plan before it even takes shape. To save these refugees, there's no choice but to patiently wait for that uncertain message.
As Dimitri traverses through the dumping ground, his sensors pick up readings that put him on high alert.
Is there a concrete threat signal? Instead, it's more like what Yulin describes as human intuition, an ominous premonition. The distant city silhouette melts into a thickening dusk, only to be traced anew by emerging lights. The dumping ground falls into an eerie silence. His fellow mechanoids, typically bustling around, have all vanished without a trace.
Initiating scan.
Signal from one of his kin. Guided by the instrument, Dimitri reaches the base of the towering heap of abandoned vehicles. There he finds a familiar sniper-type autonomous mechanoid.
Nia, status report. Where is everyone?
The mechanoid's movements prove rigid and robotic as she turns her cannon toward Dimitri. Targeting laser locks firmly onto Dimitri's helmet.
Nia?
His fellow mechanoid moves as if under viral control, devoid of any traces of consciousness. Before Dimitri can examine Nia's frame, more laser dots appear on his helmet visor. Along with it, a deluge of warnings floods his oscilloscope display. His fellow mechanoids previously concealed in this place emerge one after another from between the meadow hills, train their weapons on their former guardian. Crimson black silhouette leaps down from a crane, which vividly captured on Dimitri's senses upon landing.
Did you honestly believe you could hide secrets in this city? Glad to see you here, ma'am.
Dimitri quietly activates his short-range communication system.
Don't bother with false pleasantries. Your loyalty clearly belongs to that human girl. There's no need to hide your resentment from me. Ma'am, what have you done to them? Please release them from your control.
Dimitri's speech module experiences an unusual glitch as he struggles to understand why his companions have reverted to their initial state.
Similar to the mechanoids in the city before I've assumed control of their central systems. Now they will serve to uphold order, no longer outputting abnormal logic. Once everything is over, I'll release my control over them. However, if you refuse to cooperate, I can initialize all of them at any moment. I do not understand what you mean, ma'am. Hand over the humans you're hiding, including those two from Babylonia. No, Madame Veronica. Per your own decree, mechanoids are allowed to own private property. They belong to me, and you are infringing upon my ownership rights over them. How ridiculous.
Droid mechanoids around start to close in on Dimitri, gradually cornering him.
They pose no threat to your plans. This isn't up for debate. It's an order. As I said, if you don't surrender to humans, all your companions will be initialized. I won't repeat myself again.
Its surface unveils intricate patterns that twist and coil around its form. All converging at its precinct tech. Silent threat and absolute warning leave no space for negotiation. Dimitri's short-range communication system, the humans being used as bargaining chips, hear the entire conversation from the other side of the dumping ground.
This is murder, madam.
Veronica. Veronica exploits Dimitri's companion's memories as leverage for a threat. An indefinable signal surges through his circuits, only causing a short circuit in his language module. Veronica remains unfazed by this protest. The voice is cold as frost in the darkened room.
Murder is merely a concept born out of human hypocrisy. They commit sins, then seek repentance, glorifying the act of taking life in the premeditated lethal harm. After that, they wait for absolution from a non-existent god. But mechanoids are pure. We have no need for such roundabout ways. Data can be copied, transferred, and of course erased as desired. Mechanoids have no afterlife. The concept of death does not exist for us. As long as our memory circuits remain intact, our existence is eternal. I don't expect to convince a fellow mechanoid already corrupted by human cognition. Perhaps I should communicate in a way you can understand instead. Dimitri, I can end your life at any moment.
The aloof, deep voice coming through the communicator sends a chill down the spine of the girl in the wheelchair. For long, the same voice cuts through the static noise, listening once more from the tiny honeycomb-shaped speaker.
Yulia, and you people from Babylonia, I know you're listening.
Veronica doesn't even bother with mockery, instead delivering a direct threat.
I could start a violent search right now, but I believe that's an outcome none of us want to see. Drop your weapons and show yourselves. As for this unarmed awakened machine, I'll continue to grant him his due rights.
His face hidden behind her loose hair, expression obscured. Knuckles tremble as she grips the wheelchair's arms rest tightly. You and Liv were to surrender yourselves now, would that guarantee the safety of the refugees here? Veronica likely wouldn't harm Babylonia's envoys. Would she really let the other humans leave unscathed? Race through possible solutions in search of a compromise that could uphold the balance, before any words can be spoken. Yulia's fragile body leans forward abruptly as she swiftly presses down the communicator with both hands.
Use the tallest crane in the dumping ground as a reference point for triangulation. If the source of the signal is our hideout, we won't resist, but don't harm Dimitri.
As the crowd erupts into chaos, she simply releases her grip on the communicator and slips back in her wheelchair, slouched posture betraying a hint of relief.
Commandant, shall we make our leave now?
No. Let's wait a bit longer. For combat prowess, Liv could easily break through and take you out of this place, but following Alexi's strange attitude and Veronica's unusual behavior, he says that there may be more that meets the eye. Another answer concealed within. Reverberating sound of mechanoid troops marching over debris and scrap metal permeates both the speaker and the air surrounding the hideout. Refugees cast conflicted glances at Yulia, but ultimately surrender their weapons, realizing they're unable to resist the mechanoids encircling them. Even though the progress of civilization has long since been put on pause, cities' automated facilities persist in faithfully carrying out their programming. Beneath the expansive sky, lights flicker to life gradually as night descends, bestowing an eerie tranquility upon the steel jungle of the city. It stands there like an abandoned Kalong marketplace only seen in dreams. Time fades away amidst flickering lights and dancing shadows. Nevertheless, Hanging has no time to linger around. Hurriedly making her way toward the dumping ground, with Veronica having subdued the majority of the resistance forces in the city, her final destination is clear.
A transmission signal?
A strange short-range signal keeps requesting to establish communication. A small familiar voice comes through the communication channel.
May I ask who?
Sorry, it's an emergency broadcast channel. Time. As she fragmented, the words circled through the static interference, but only gained clarity shortly after. I'm currently using an emergency broadcast channel. Apologies if it's causing any interference with your reception frequency.
Alexi.
Disbelief is palpable, but in the transmission as she struggles to trust her own judgment.
Yes, Han Ying. I know you have many questions, but there's no time for explanations. I'm personally making this request, and I genuinely seek your assistance.
Voice is barely above a whisper, trembling under pressure. A complete departure from his previous flippant, manic demeanor.
Please go on. I'm listening. Veronica has taken control of the mechanoids at the dumping ground, abducted all the refugees sheltered there. What?
Worst fears have come to pass. What astonishes the most is that this intelligence comes from the governor himself, a racing puppet who's shown nothing but contempt for humans.
What about the 2 visitors from Babylonia?
They've been taken away as well. Veronica must be holding them in Hangar 3C at the spacecraft docking area.
This is urgent, so please, you have to trust me. I might not stay lucid for long. Hangar 3C at the spacecraft docking area. Please, don't let Veronica make an even graver mistake.
His voice shed his prior madness, imbued of a profound and unwavering strength.
I cannot fully trust you.
Mechanoid cannot lie. He confronted this human who had undergone such a remarkable transformation in demeanor, and he struggles to place complete trust in him.
I'm sorry, but there's no time for more explanations. Not sure how long I can stay clear-headed enough to talk. I'll give you the access key to the administrative hall. It's clear of any ambush. I trust you've already scouted the area. Please, do whatever it takes to stop Veronica. Don't let her make an even graver mistake. I'll go check it out.
Though she holds dear a threat, she never wavers in confronting danger head-on. After her response, the channel falls completely silent. Not even the slightest static noise can be heard. You begin to wonder if the connection has been cut.
Alexi? Then, please, don't harm her.
With it, Hanyu has already rushed back to the dumping ground. As Alexi stated, every hideout in the area proves deserted.
I suppose a fight is now inevitable.
Casting her gaze downward, Hanyu punches her pipe right tightly and dashes toward the administrative hall. Silhouette slowly fades into the blizzard, as this observer has now been drawn into the storm.
I mean, I get that it's like he possibly could have inhabited multiple personalities due to the many parts that he has. And that could be why she can't really tell, like, when he's lying, right? Because everything would seem like a truth depending on the individual that she's talking to at that specific moment. If all those different voices are inhabiting the same body. Ah, boy, please don't make me have to hack to more doors again, please. Can't be dealing with this shit now. Link-free access code provided by Alexi effortlessly unlocks the administrator hall's main gate. Beyond its corridor awaits a spacecraft docking area. Veronica has likely selected this location to confine her human captives due to its ample space and convenient surveillance capabilities. The spacecraft hangs high from the ceiling, its black and white thermal tiles glistening immaculate. Making this behemoth look more like a meticulously preserved exhibit. Calamity has left this vessel frozen in time. A spacefaring vessel designed to shuttle between Earth's orbit and Aerospace City never had the opportunity to fulfill its destined mission. The acceleration track intended by Veronica to function as an enormous cannon stands ready to propel this 100-ton dart at near light speed. The adjacent docking bays more vessels of the same model stand, which poised to unleash their devastating payload toward the metal flower blooming into orbital dock. This is it. Through the maintenance corridor, Hanyu makes her way toward the Hangar 3C. The residents of this city, be they humans of flesh and blood or mechanical creations, must never be used as pawns in a bloody earth bargain. As Grey Raven has fulfilled its duty as a mediator, she can no longer remain a passive onlooker, waiting for war to break out.
やっと着いたわ。指揮官が閉じ込められているのはここね。
Oh, thank God. Okay, I didn't have to do a password thing. Because I was gonna be like, if you make me have to do that shit at the start, I'd be fucking pissed. Not going through the same thing like the Bridget chapter.
見覚えがあるわ。そうだ。ベロニカの夢でここに来たことがある。大丈夫です。指揮官たちはきっとここにいる。
Ooh, here we go. Excellent. The machine parts are taking over more and more. This way, we'll have greater control over this body. So to have data to record for the replication experiment, even if that human woke up, they wouldn't be able to decipher a single word of this mechanoid speak. Found it. I want prophecy to pass the higher dimensional filter. So those predictions were right on the money. This frames data off the power to shatter humanity. So the blank data is enough to recreate the hyperreal filter process. There must be another piece that consults predictions. The end despair grant the universe equal compassion. Every future humanity's doorways. That's it. There has to be more info somewhere. The hyperreal filter process? How would they know about that? Interesting. They were trying to use someone to like come to an understanding with mechanoids. Is that maybe what Alexei was? Pretty sure it is the first one. Damn it, all these shards are redundant. But it's enough. Use these scraps to replicate the hyperreal data. Michi's been hawking those high-powered radio waves lately. Still collecting humans. You keep a closer eye on them. Necessary. Oh, so someone has been keeping an eye on Dimitri. Is it Veronica or was it someone else?
よし、次は指揮官のところへ行きましょう。剣の調べは連綿と四面楚歌眉の金箔乱流と解く轟音に散れ罰をなけ強戦は霊獣す死ねない私死ねない私指揮官リーフ無事ですか強戦は霊獣す死ねない残響に乗せて全て滅びなさい剣の調べは連綿と眉の金箔乱流と解く轟音に散れ現在 HP がやや危険領域ガンエスさん閉じ込められてからもうどれくらいになるのか一緒に そんな損傷度でこれ以上戦うのは危険よ。あなたは自分と指揮官の安全だけを考えて。まだ多くの異常データが残っているわ。それとここで彫刻の機体データを見つけたの。リーさんのどういうことですか？彫刻の力を欲しがる誰かが彼のデータをコピーしようとした可能性が高いわ。まずはここから離れましょう。では一緒に撤退しましょう。
Interesting. I thought when they made hyper, I thought they meant like a form of energy. No, they actually have his data. But how? Because that's a top secret thing. It's like, that's something that was still being worked on. There shouldn't be anyone who knows it. I swear to God, if you tell me Kurano sold the means again, I'm gonna lose it. But then again, I guess maybe someone could have like hacked up. No, but the only place where they would have gotten information about that would have also been the tower. Because there's no other place they could have gotten it from, right? Because there's no way it gone from... Or maybe that's what that signal was that we detected. It was someone transferring the hyperreal frame data to here. Guess that could be the case, but again... Why would someone already have a desire for it as if they already knew of its existence and what it's capable of? Oh, you have got to be kidding me. Oh my god, they made a clone of Lee? Don't you dare! He's my boy! Don't you dare fuck with me on this shit, okay? Fuck you! How dare you try to use my boy Lee for evil! Oh, I'm gonna fucking wreck your shit, man. This is for Lee! Because I already know Lee's moves. Bitch! You know how many times I love playing with the hyperreal frame? I already know everything he does. Seriously, they tried to copy my boy Lee? They really thought it'd be that simple. Bro! Lee's my bro, don't you dare fucking mess with him, okay? I can't believe it. They actually tried to copy my man Lee! Fuck you! Well, then again, I guess replications of frames and constructs isn't exactly impossible. We see the whole situation with Lucia. So they had done... But where would they have even got the means to do so? Because wouldn't they still need an Omega weapon? Where would they have even gotten that? Again, the only thing I can think of is like Kurano's like associated with whoever's leading the charge here. Because seriously, where else could they have even got this from? I mean, maybe they could have gotten the means to like construct it, but it can't be that simple. Babylonia had only just recently got the blueprints to Omega weapons. funny wind howls through the open hangar gates. Its icy chill lingering within the metallic confines of the docking bays. Fierce battle from moments ago has left the air heavy with heated tension.
His moves are fierce but not smooth.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest, that was definitely an easier Lee. Like, when I was playing as Lee, whew, he'd go crazy. And that's the thing, he didn't do his final, like, sniping move in his hyper real state. He just did the basic shit. But then again, no one can hold a candle to the real Lee. Especially not these fakers.
Rather than a construct, he's more like a machine fighting according to a preset behavior pattern.
Oh, so creating an army of constructs, but without the mind of a construct. So again, it's like having a factory setting of mechanoids, just equipped onto a construct. Sense of dissonance feels just as unsettling as the contradictions you witnessed in Alexei. All the nuanced hints you noticed since entering the city converge together after this confrontation. By the rapidly escalating chaos, the unseen force finally puts on a mask, merging into the spotlight.
Commandant, that mechanical model just now. Something feels off about him.
I've noticed it too. He seems to have merely replicated Lee's appearance and fundamental attack strategies. Yet to those acquainted with Lee, it was evident that this imitation was merely skin deep. It's as if someone just caught a brief glimpse of Hyperreal somewhere. Maybe not even a live data capture. Hastily replicated his shell without limited information. I find this approach oddly familiar, but why didn't I even get a chance to see the Hyperreal frame? Just the refugees are settled in and you're about to ask Hanyi about updates from the outside, she walks right up. But let me check. Glimpse of the frame, maybe not even live data, and hastily replicated it. No, yeah, we've seen this before, right? Wait. Oh, wait, hold up. Would this be the same thing as Lithos had done back then? Because Litho was able to create those, like, other versions of a short halt, right? From our mission? Back when we were stuck in the cradle? Is it talking about that? But then again, I think there was another case where we dealt with other copies of constructs. But it's just not coming to mind right now. No, it would be, yes, because Lithos had also created a version of Noin. And even that wasn't an exact copy of him. Could that be where they got the information from? They got it from Lithos? No, but even then, it's like, Lithos wouldn't have had information on the Hyperreal frame, unless Vonnegut had gone through the ASNet and somehow was able to reach that information, which was withheld in Gestalt. But then again, there was that one moment when Gestalt was being infiltrated by the Punishing and such, so maybe that created that opportunity. But then why hand it over to here? Because again, it's like, I doubt Veronica would have a need to do something like that. Especially since she seems to be trying to do this all under her own control, not with anything else, because otherwise she would have created more armies of the Hyperreal frame and led that to, like, get rid of all the humans and such. Does she even know about this project? Hanyi, entering this area should require an access key. Did you find another way in? You were brought here to make your way into the long sequence of access codes to the administrative hall entrance before the gates would open. As much as you hate to question Hanyi, if Veronica has persuaded her to collaborate, this location may not be secure either.
That's actually what I want to talk to you about. Alexei gave me the access key.
Alexei? Whatever his unsettling behavior during negotiations flashes through your mind. Take a step back, you're instinctively reaching for the concealed outsider.
I know what's concerning you, Commandant. To be honest, I'm surprised too.
Understanding your concerns, Hanyi lowers her eyes and plays footage from the terminal.
This is urgent, so please, you have to trust me. I might not stay lucid for long. Hangar 3C at the spacecraft docking area. Please, don't let Veronica make an even graver mistake. I cannot fully trust you. I'm sorry, but there's no time for more explanations.
Not sure how long I can stay clear-headed enough to talk. I'll give you the access key to the administrative hall. It's clear of any ambush, and I trust you already scouted the area. The key is... Something's indeed wrong. Alexander's recording is completely different from the one you encountered during the previous negotiation.
I can't be sure, but I get the feeling that the Alexei from before was just a puppet. Like someone else was pulling the strings.
Oh, what that message was.
Just like this crude mechanical model. Yes, that Alexei fit very similar to this mechanical model. And
With manipulating Alexei to stir up trouble or use a fake lead to sow discord, his actions seem designed to sabotage others' efforts to defuse the situation. But to eliminate the impossible, whatever remains, no matter how improbable, must be the truth. Besides, there is something oddly familiar about these tactics.
But some unforeseen events occurred, like that thing calling itself the Emperor.
Oh, right. The Emperor was able to hack in.
But he seemed to have anticipated everything, as if simulations and predictions were second nature to him.
He might have been experimental subject who escaped from Project Gestalt. Ah, that's it. Yes, it would make sense. Because that doesn't mean that Schultz was the only one. There could have been other ones that were terminated just like him. But then how would he have gone all the way here, though? No, it has to be when the Eden 3 was still being constructed here back then, right? Before it was launched into space. That could have been a time when they actually seek refuge here. Because also, it's different from that other program, or that other version of Cradle that was locked up in Babylonia. It could have been something akin to that as well. But yeah, if he's another subject who escaped from Gestalt, that would explain how they would have been able to at least get some information on the hyperreal frame. Because it's like they said, it's like they would have gotten some basic information, but nothing that could completely replicate a full lead. Nothing that talks like him, that would have tried to interact with us, and then probably try to kill us, like when we turn our backs. He said they had to go, like, to confront us if that was the only means to do so. And again, it's like it would have the means to access at least like knowing what kind of materials you would need to make that kind of frame. Could it be experimental subject called the Emperor repeating the Tablet of Kosh? No, but it can't be the same one, right? We dealt with him already. At least it felt like we finished him off. There's no way he's back. That would be insane if he's actually still around. I will admit. But no, actually, maybe it actually could be, because to be fair, this area isn't that far away from Kowloon, and they've had relations before, right? And considering how close this is to the ARU, maybe they would have actually had information on, like, that project long ago that the ARU had kept secret. The one where Rigger had to face the shadows of the ARU. Maybe that's what ties us all together.
You mean Schultz?
The Emperor Schultz?
Indeed. He was the mechanoid by my side back in Kowloon. His code name is the Emperor.
Code name?
My apologies. Due to certain circumstances, I can't tell you any more details about this. But if I'm not mistaken, the special code that appeared in Tabula Akasha was Schultz.
So he didn't self-destruct the Kowloon headquarters.
Rumor has it that he wasn't just your average awakened machine, though I don't have the details on what made him special. Still, it wouldn't surprise me if he was the one manipulating Alexei.
But why would he do this?
Because he hates everyone.
Whether or not the Emperor is truly behind this, the proposition that someone's pulling the strings seems to explain all these strange occurrences. Ah, right. And that's the thing, it's like, he could have taken advantage of Veronica's, like, the way she acts and stuff to do all this behind her back, right? Because since he was a member of the church, he would know about all the other members. Oh, that's it, isn't it? That's also what happened with the Church of Machina, where they weren't able to reach him, and there was some weird data, like, being found within the Great Tower. It would actually explain if it was the Emperor then, because again, as one of their highest ranking members, he would have actually had potentially access to it. and then also try to use that information for himself. Especially since they were also trying to find a means of creating a ship that would take them out to space to make their own colony somewhere. And that information would help in like creating the means that he needs to escape from this planet. If that is what he's trying to do. The way Alexei stalled their negotiations, built the resistance, and provoked their attacks. Yeah, it's like back then.
That Alexei is deliberately trying to provoke Veronica.
It's the only human Veronica truly trusts. Alexei showing her the brutal wounds from his near-death experience will undoubtedly elicit an intense reaction from her.
Veronica is being deceived. I have to find her.
She won't believe you.
I have to at least try. We mechanoids do not abandon our own.
She answered with a gentle smile.
I would have remained in that storage pod forever, if it weren't for my fellow mechanoids who never gave up trying to wake me up. That's the only reason I'm talking with you today. It's the same with Veronica. Even if she barely listens to what I say, I won't give up on her as long as there's the slightest chance. She shouldn't have become fuel for hatred. Someone else is behind these tragedies.
Sharp glint grows in Han Ying's eyes.
The Emperor not only turned his back on the church, but nearly brought Kowloon to complete ruin. Even now, he continues to incite hatred between mechanoids and humans, going so far as to sacrifice the lives of his kin.
All right, yes, because he did turn a lot of the mechanoids in Kowloon against us. That would be his MA, to be honest. And yeah, that oppressive pressure that's like the fighting never stops, that it'll just keep beating you to the ground one foot after the other until you have nowhere else to hide. It's just like the Emperor.
He deceived his own people, deceived everyone. He must pay for what he's done.
Fremont Mechanoid's gaze pierced through the mist, fixed upon the figure lurking behind the scene. Determination born from her gentle nature proved sharper than any blade.
Let's start planning our next move.
Doctor and I said, "Oh damn it, there was something! No! What did I miss?" Well, I guess it doesn't matter because I missed something else earlier at the beginning, right? Right? At least I'm pretty sure. Let me actually check. Oh yeah, I did miss something before. Damn it. I just had to do that whenever in my free time. I don't know. I don't know what the everything could have been. Balance beam. And the stream of notifications filling the screen of Celica's terminal in rapid succession. She has no time to process any of them. The corridor outside the conference room is bustling with people. Celica weaves through the crowd and stops before an automatic door. What's the status of the comms array? We established contact with Grey Raven. Celica offers a quick salute before opening a message on her terminal. Having cross-referenced the data in the summary report, she delivers a less than optimistic answer.
We logged onto the source of the high-energy signal, and the observation satellites have confirmed the exact coordinates of Aerospace City. However, severe electromagnetic interference, presumably from the charging reactor, continues to affect the city and its surrounding areas. We're having difficulty pinpointing the beacon of Xanthos, making communication impossible for now. However, we received a brief report from them, which has been encrypted and forwarded to everyone's terminals.
I wonder how they'll feel when they realize, dude, we just finally finished our research on the hyperreal frame. You're telling us someone's already copying it? Aerospace City, mechanoids, resistance. Produced the blood-red words, the brief mission reports paints a picture of snow-swept city at a distant outpost. How far is the nearest task force squad from there?
According to reports from New Sophiasburg, there are minefields on the outskirts of Aerospace City. At least 1/3 of the city's defense facilities remain operational.
The meeting room falls into silence. 1 hour earlier. Unknown signal investigation, Aerospace City, mission duration 45-10-58. The hexadecimal digits cycle endlessly, the numbers at the leftmost side of the screen steadily climbing. 40 hours have passed since Grey Raven's last mission report.
Surface controls confirmed with the Forest Guard that Grey Raven split up with them in the forest surrounding Aerospace City. According to Rosetta's recollection, it should be around this area. According to the field report, there appears to be no significant threat aside from the minefields and minor hetero-creature activities. So, can we deploy a task force squad to investigate? It's too risky. Aerospace City's defense systems are in the vicinity, and we might provoke neighboring factions. Have we gotten anything before analyzing those abnormal high-powered radio waves directed at Babylonia? Not yet. It appears to be some form of encrypted message, but just as long as it's about to open up a report displayed with a mission timer suddenly flooded with crimson. The white dot marking Grey Raven's position vanishes from the digital map. Not far away, ominous ripples begin to spread from a dark red mass between the contour lines. This intensity. Is it a reactor meltdown? Aerospace City is a metropolis built upon nuclear power. Its reactor is the only thing that can cause an anomaly of this magnitude within the mission area. Asimov's finger darts across the screen, swiftly pinpointing the source of the reaction in the map. No one could have anticipated that Aerospace City would reveal its hidden coordinates in such a catastrophic way. That's not right. The remote sensing satellites haven't detected any explosion, and the radiation levels in the area haven't changed. The Kellogg researcher quickly shifts his focus on the data, dismissing what would have been the most intuitive conclusion. A hetero-creature outbreak? But viral activities couldn't have generated such massive intense energy instantaneously. Increasing ionization reactions, obstructive interference. The forest seems to be a bombless void ready to devour everything in its path. Could it be? A complex mist of emotions crosses his face as he turns to Asimov, carefully enunciating each word of his question. Asimov, have you heard of a top-secret research project that Kellogg conducted in Aerospace City during the Golden Age? That project's code name was The Bridge to Heaven. Give me a sec, I'll be right back. Sorry about that. The dome casts an ethereal blue light across the chamber. This hall, which has determined humanity's fate countless times, resembles more of a gladiatorial arena, even under its architecture. I trust everyone has reviewed the mission briefing and the materials I sent in advance. Tsiolkovsky Aerospace City, a place I'm sure everyone present is quite familiar with. According to all available intelligence, Aerospace City has been occupied by mechanoids. And 97 minutes ago, we detected high-energy readings south of New Murmansk on the Kola Peninsula, and the energy signatures were consistent with a reactor charging for orbital operations. Damn, I suck at pronouncing today, and my wording. These energy readings originate from a top-secret aerospace project that should have been abandoned after the virus outbreak. The magnetic accelerator track Bifrost. In other words, Bifrost is charging up and preparing for activation. Bifrost? That's impossible! Does it work on the same principle as the coil gun? Although these council members have no non-military, or may have non-military backgrounds, the battles Babylonia has faced thus far made them acutely aware of potential threats. As you can see, this is an attempt to enter Earth's orbit by an unknown force from the surface. Bifrost, if used properly, Smash Driver could indeed be utilized to launch a direct strike against Babylonia. So it's like they're literally creating their own like knockoff railgun, basically. According to the report, Grey Raven's conducting reconnaissance in the vicinity. We failed to establish stable communications with Grey Raven so far. This mission report is all we received from their end. If we attempt a direct strike on Aerospace City from Babylonia,
Destroying the accelerator track would solve our immediate crisis. But do you really want to burn down the most advanced experimental cold fusion reactor from before the outbreak? Yeah, because I mean, again, it's just like the whole thing with the space station. Or, I mean, the moon base. We needed that. That's how we get the Omega weapons. Even though we had the capability to replicate such a reactor, where would we find the manpower and resources to construct it? Is it possible to attempt communication with those inside the city? Hold on. Asmar receives a distinct alert on his terminal. Gesturing for silence, he opens the device and reviews the incoming data. The electromagnetic waves have been temporarily ceased. It seems Bifrost's energy accumulation is under intermittent operation, and the reactor is beginning its cooling cycle. We might be able to establish a brief communication window. Connects his terminal to the holographic projector and opens the communication channel. Count's discussion quickly subsides as everyone's attention returns to the hologram at the center of the hall. Oop, good. While you rest, you make another attempt to contact Babylonia. The terminal is still picking up fragments of conversation. They're just communications between the remaining resistance forces in the city and the stereo binary broadcast from the mechanoids. As for the colonial ship in orbit, Babylonia seems to be completely cut off by the electromagnetic interference field.
Commandant, the signal seems to be coming back. This is Science Council. Do you copy?
Final words suddenly cut through with perfect clarity. This is a Grey Raven Commandant.
This is Babylonia Parliament. We're currently holding an emergency session. Please report the situation at Aerospace City.
Bifrost has begun charging, and Babylonians recognize the gravity of the situation. After establishing a stable connection on a secure channel, you briefly describe your encounter since you landed. That concludes everything. Although the resistance forces are currently contained, new conflicts can erupt at any moment. Asmar doesn't respond immediately. The channel is filled with what sounds like discussions in the Parliament, but their words are completely indiscernible. While they need time to process this information, you also urgently require assistance. At a brief commotion, Asimov's voice comes through from the other end.
The military will attempt to dispatch a task force squad to your location. We're currently confirming with the surrounding forces.
We formed a temporary alliance with Yulia's refugees. I'll continue negotiations with the resistance forces and hostile mechanoids to buy us time. And also,
is there something else?
Our allies include Han Ying, an awakened machine. She's here to track down Veronica.
That name is familiar. You mentioned her in your report after the Tabula Akasha battle. Stay alert and be careful.
Communication is once again disrupted by electromagnetic interference.
We found a mechanoid as a guide who will take the reinforcements some time to clear the minefield, even if they take our route.
We'll do our best. Have to find a balance in this chaos that minimizes the casualties before it's too late. As Dimitri said, this ravaged city cannot endure another all-out war. Bifrost. I've only ever heard stories about it.
The ingenuity of humanity during the Golden Age is truly remarkable.
Such romantic and imaginative ideas could have only been transformed into magnificent structures during that era.
Come to think of it, that was humanity's last hope, wasn't it?
Asmar remains silent as he gazes at Earth through the portal. Awakened machines keep entering Aerospace City. Perhaps this is more alarming than the hastily activated Bifrost. What kind of upheaval is taking place on the surface? At some point in time, everything seems to have been spiraling toward an uncontrollable abyss. Alright. Because that's the thing, is like, at one point we were going towards a never-ending winter, right? So this must be like one of the main like traction points that leads to the war between humans and mechanoids, right? Because we saw that from some point there was always going to be a battle between both forces. So I was like, is this one of the many points in which it could still lead to that future? Like, we're not clear of that that checkpoint yet. That might be the case here. Her footsteps. Red gleam races toward him in his field of vision. Soldier feels his body finally turn backward before it hits a wall with a thud and helplessly slides to the ground. Starts to mechanize attack his identity due to thick gun smoke.
Feudal resistance. That mask.
Shit. So it's you, Spikehead. She remains quiet, slowly raising her spear and pointing at the soldier's head. You're like locusts during harvest, swarming and buzzing with your insufferable noise. Unless I destroy your hope at its very source, you just keep pushing my limits time and time again. Veronica, speak. The imprisoned humans have escaped, including the commander from Babylonia and Dimitri. Female Mechanoid does not answer immediately, instead raising her eyes to survey her surroundings. The once standing buildings have all crumbled to ruins in the ride, while the range continues to intensify. Did they escape, or did you let them go? They were being held in the spacecraft docking area. Even with some combat capability, that construct won't be able to breach the gates there. Not to mention that the administrative hall security codes are nearly impossible to crack. You're telling me that they escaped just like that? Please don't be angry, Veronica. On the other end of the line, Alexei speaks with an unfamiliar emotion that Veronica doesn't recognize, so completely indifferent. You have 1 minute to explain yourself. I didn't want this either, but your associate Han Ying rescued them. The autonomous mechanoids and I tried our best to stop her, but Han Ying is completely devoted to the humans. She single-handedly took down both me and the autonomous mechanoids. A mechanoid has such power. I'm no match for her. Han Ying. How absurd. So she's made a deal with that command insider with the humans now. Veronica, I'm different from her. You know I'm on your side. That's why I must warn you, Veronica, as your loyal friend. Bifrost is entering its final charging phase. We can't afford any mistakes now. Turns to show the screen behind him through the comms feed. Lengthy loading process is nearly complete. I don't need you to remind me of that. To build our new world, we must eliminate any possibility of human interference. You know how humans are. Always selfish, always arrogant, forever dreaming of eradicating those different from them and ruling this world. Once Babylonia discovers this place, they'll fire up their orbital cannons, along this arsenal, and then, boom. That day will never come. Piercing gleam flashing in the red mechanoid's eyes, growing colder by the second. Babylonia is humanity's last hope, just as you said, and now it's finally time to snuff it out completely. Alright, I made it to the control room, Veronica. It's time to begin the final phase. Should get here soon. We don't have much time. That human commandant and Han Ying are our biggest wild cards. Alexei, you've been acting strange lately. Must be your imagination. Veronica ends the call without a word. She sounded a rushing wind in the final moments to Alexei that she's already on the move. The final charging phase is about to begin. Babylonia. August Gazy figures this somewhat serviceable vessel might last a few days longer than the previous one. Once Bifrost is activated, will Babylonia still be able to turn a blind eye to all of this? 2 of our kin. No, 3 of them lost. Can the Church of Machina really keep ignoring this? This is perfect. That future, the one we should have realized, the worlds we mechanoids should have built. If you're not willing to do it, then I'll forge that future myself. Oh, wait a minute. Don't tell me. Because of Schultz and his special kind of existence, did he see the same future Nanami did? Because Nanami was only able to do so by deep syncing with Gestalt. Did he also find a way to deep sync with Gestalt and saw the one possibility where mechanoids are at war with humanity? That would explain his obsession with that and why he thinks it's possible. Trying to stoke the flames. And that's probably why he's also getting all these his other members involved, right? Trying to use that as a way to be like, no, Babylonia did it. They were there, right? Because if Schultz and Han Ying were both to fall in battle, then they could paint Babylonia as the bad guys. And he's probably doing the same here by having Veronica being another casualty. Damn, Schultz is always very sneaky like that. Upon hearing the recent communication with Babylonia from you, Han furrows her brows.
So they've activated Bifrost. But still, we must stop Veronica. According to the Resistance, if we can't cut off the reactor's power supply, it'll be nearly impossible to stop Bifrost.
No, the reactor shouldn't be our only option. Despite the high energy readings, Bifrost still hasn't really activated.
What do you mean, Commandant?
It's as if it's waiting for some kind of command.
In other words, there's likely a mechanism that can directly shut down Bifrost.
That's right. There might be a trap ahead. Shouldn't put all your eggs in one basket.
Right, because even if it needs to cool in order to fully utilize all of its power into like that one launch, there should still be a way to like automatically like just send it skyrocketing immediately, right? But the fact that it hasn't yet, like you said, there could be one more barrier that's keeping it from doing so. Maybe a final password or activation or memory chip or something. Let me go. If I encounter Veronica, I might stand a chance against her.
After strategizing with you briefly, Han volunteers to stop Veronica while you and Liv take another route to find Bifrost's potential control room to halt its activation directly.
Well then, let's go.
Stay safe.
I will. Take care of yourselves too. When this is all over, let's meet at the top of Bifrost. Bifrost is just up ahead. That guard who was a person named Lee ran off in this direction too.
Autonomous mechanoid guards patrol the entrance, keeping vigilant watch on their surroundings.
An express elevator straight to Bifrost. No wonder there are so many mechanoids guarding it. They must consider this place crucial. These autonomous mechanoids are following Veronica's orders. Looks like a fight is inevitable.
Wait, what? You cannot be serious. I'm actually Veronica? Bro! I love this. I love when I can actually be the enemy. No! Let me have that fight. Yeah, let me continue. Oh boy. We'll get there, we'll get there. Nope. Oh my god, I'm trying to lock on by well left. Oh, I love this. We're both racing. Oh, if only there was an ultimate I could pull off. That'd be amazing. Damn, they like doing nothing to me.
550,000 HP? Why the fuck does she have so much? I'm jealous.
Ooh, that's some serious combo. That is actually cool. I got the fight as Veronica. Oh, and now back to Hanyi, right? Yep, I figured. This is actually really cool.
急いで彼らを仕留めればまだ間に合うはず。残響に乗せて全て滅びなさい。弦の調べを四面光栄眉の金箔乱流と解く轟音に散れ。強戦は霊獣す。強戦は霊復調しなくちゃ。強戦は霊強化を踏みく残響に乗せて全て滅びなさい。
Though I will be honest, I am actually kind of glad we're having a different villain this time. Like, if it actually is also, what's it called, Schultz, that would be really great. Because, again, it's not always just, like, only Kurano just, like, lying to Babylonia over and over again, you know? So I actually would be glad for that, if anything. Plus, again, we haven't really faced that much opposition from the Church of Machina as much, so to have him be the reason it happens again would actually be very cool. Especially a callback, considering Schultz was actually one of our greatest enemies.
私を止める。これ以上遊びに付き合う暇はない。
Yo, I can't wait to see how they improve her, I can't wait to see how they improve Veronica once they make her an actual character. That'll be cool. That's it, Veronica, right? Yep, you know it, Drago. But yeah, I couldn't believe I actually get to play as someone else again, aside from the main construct. That is cool. Because back then, it's like, we don't get nearly as much now where it's like, I think the last time we had, where we were actually as like, technically the enemy, was when we were playing as Luna. But then even before that, it was like as Roland or any of the other ones. It has been a while, so it's actually nice to see that it's Veronica this time around. Ah, boy. That's not good. Yeah, I know it. Hey, this isn't my floor. Oh, come on. She can clone? Great. Just great. Why can't I do that? I want to be able to clone. Yo, let me lock onto her. Ooh. Why won't it let me lock on? Bitch. BS, seriously. I mean, sure, at least we can do that as virtual, but still. Oh my god, I've already lost half my health. This is my dosage. Nah, for real. Nope. Wait, what? Oh. Yes. Alright, good. There is no way I'm going to survive this. Seriously, why won't it let me lock onto her? Like, just let me have this. There we go. Ooh. Nope. Okay, good. I can't counter it though. Oh shit. There we go. Yo, let me lock onto her. Why? Like, seriously, I'm pressing the right buttons, but it's not letting me. Not what I did.
眉の
Oh
金箔
boy.
ランルと解く
This is ridiculous, bro. Just let me lock onto her.
残響に乗せて全て滅びなさい。剣の調べは連綿眉の金箔ランルと解く轟音に散れ。これごときで難聴しません。残響に乗せて全て滅びなさい。弦の調べは連綿と夢の中の弦が切れた。
I'm be honest, I'm gonna have to restart that because I don't feel I deserve that. I'm gonna restart it. Sure, I'll have to restart the whole thing, but I am not losing a life to that, okay? I also don't understand why won't it let me lock on? Like, I pressed the lock on thing so many times. It's like, normally in battles it does work. I don't know what it did. Mod check? Yep. Oh, you mean for this advertisement for like, for the followers thing? Yeah. I just usually just leave it alone. Because it doesn't really matter to me. It does get annoying, but I just choose not to listen to it. Alright, let's try this again. Like seriously, it just doesn't do the lock on in this one. I don't know why. I feel like I should be able to.
まずいわ。これ以上もたもたしていたら。
角頭の機械体が来たぞ。
どけ。
急いで彼らを仕留めればまだ間に合うはず。強戦は霊獣す。強化残響に乗せて全て
So
滅び
wait,
なさ
she's
い。
supposed to replace Elisa? Wait, who? Hanyu? I mean, don't people usually keep Elisa on the team? Because it's supposed to be you have Elisa, Hanying, and then whoever your physical is being what is it called? Rocket. Oh right, yeah. Oh really? She's supposed to. Oh, so she's supposed to be the amplifier for physical teams? That I did not. Yeah, physical amp. Really? That I did not know. It is actually very interesting. Because again, if anything, I figure she'd be a tank like Han Ying. But then again, I guess because we already got Han Ying, it would be kind of weird. But we haven't had a physical amplifier in like forever. Except for Lisa, so I guess I get kind of understand that. Honestly, it would have been a real opportunity to put Kia Sky into retirement. Honestly, I kind of have to agree, because look, I'm not saying Karenina sucks or anything like that. She's cool and everything. I love her story. But at the same time, it's like, it's just kind of hard to use her on her team, really. Because I try to use her on my dark team. It just does not work out, unfortunately. Like with Lilith, I have no problem with. Lamia, she has her on and off days. I mean, we are getting a Bianca as the next regular dark DPS. So yeah, I figured, yeah, that would have been a great place to put her. Yeah, Spin to Win does need a lot more investment to work smoothly. Yeah, I have to agree. So yeah, I am kind of surprised they don't put her on the dark team. Especially with how cool she looks. Like, come on, she fit the aesthetic so well. It's honestly kind of shocking.
私を止める これ以上遊びに付き合う暇はない。
Furthermore, an amp instead of a tank is also an interesting choice. Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong, it is interesting, and again, to be fair, we don't really have a lot of like the amp kind of characters, so at least to give an option aside from Elisa Echo isn't bad. But I mean, I don't think Elisa Echo is too obsolete that it's like, what's it called? That's like we could ignore that, you know? Because I mean, Elisa Echo still works pretty well, and I have fun using her on the physical team. Maybe she doesn't do nearly as much to support like Lilith does on the dark team, but at the same time, I don't know. Trigger, so wait, are you trying to hold left trigger down and then press down on the right control stick? Is that work? I'm trying both. I'm trying holding it and doing that, and then just tapping both at the same time. But let me try that again, see what happens. I could just not be doing it right. Like my timing could be off.
もしベロニカが天国の橋を起動してしまえば、もう覚醒機械と人間の間には二度と平和が訪れない。
Yeah, it's like I'll try it again and see what happens.
エレベーターが。
I will say, if they don't allow her to also make shadow clones in her like actual release, I will be pissed. Because if she can do that here, like Virgil can, I don't know why she can't. Yeah, I'm doing both and it's not really working. Nope. Yeah, so I don't know why. I mean, like, common mistake is that control sticks are also on the side. Yeah, I mean, I could agree to that. Nope. Ooh, nope. Oh no. Wait, is she entering a hyperreal state? No, please. Oh my god. Nope. Oh, now it's kind of locking the door. Good. Okay, now that's much better. Now it's actually locking onto it better. Oh shit. Yeah, now this feels a lot better. Oh no. No! No! Yeah, get away from me. Nope. 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 Wait, what? Oh, I was about to say. What the hell was that doing? Nope. There we go. There we go. Well, finally, the lock-on worked. Nope. Finally. Damn, that was difficult. But it worked. Ah, I didn't get whatever the other achievement's supposed to be, I think. Damn it, what'd I miss? At least I think. Was there only one achievement for this or two? Ah, whatever. Their electronic voice announces access granted. The control room's door slowly opens, revealing a familiar figure in dark crimson standing at the entrance. But finally, I got it first try. God damn. I did not want to have to go at it a third time. Whew. Good thing it's you and not Han Ying. I told you she's not a threat. She pauses, seemingly noticed something. You've modified yourself again. The young man before has replaced his arm and lower leg with mechanical parts, making him look increasingly like a mechanoid. I had no choice but to do this after being gravely wounded in that attack by the human rebels. As you know, I've always admired mechanoids. It's not against that aspiration to increase the number of mechanized parts in me. Wait a minute, is by also replacing with parts a way that he's dominating Alexei? Because then he's getting rid of his human self, right? Because in the end, she'll still probably be the dominant voice out of all the other, the minds that kind of sink into him from where those parts originated from. Is that what he's trying to do? And also, by doing that and showing like, oh, those humans did this to me, so I had to replace myself, it's giving Veronica more of a reason to hate humans as a whole. Because then it's like, oh, they didn't have enough with just hurting them once, but multiple times, just like SDC-39. He's around the central console. Lexi turns to look at Veronica. I'll make them pay for this. But that's not what concerns me. I'm worried that those humans will only escalate things further, eventually threatening our dream. They didn't just attack me. They brought reinforcements from Babylonia. They even turned your own kin against you. His tone grows more intense, the female mechanoid gets visibly more angry. Han Ying, SDC-39, all a hanged men this blindly devoted to humanity. Obviously, humans always have such an irresistible pull on mechanoids. Incomprehensible. After pointlessly sacrificing so much for humans, he died at the hands of those he showed kindness to. SDC-39, he was so naive, believing that the bridge would lead to heaven. He even wanted to go with the humans. Sharp red light coils around her spear as she slams the weapon down beside her. Careful now. It's very hard to repair the equipment here if it gets damaged. Keeping clear of Veronica's spear, he approaches the central console for the other side. Yes, SDC-39, our friend. What a pity. But there's still time, Veronica. We can still stop Han Ying and all the other mechanoids. If we successfully drag humanity into the abyss, these tragedies will never happen again. This is the bridge's final charge, Veronica. Babylonia is within our grasp now. He steps aside, revealing the charge button on the screen. Press it. That's all it takes. Once it finishes charging, it'll be one step closer to our new world. Oh, no, it is. It is. He's trying to make Veronica out to be the villain. He's trying to create the war between the Church of Machina and Babylonia. So then all of the Church of Machina will get involved. Maybe even he thinks Nanami herself would turn against humans for this. I mean, I don't believe she would, but the rest of the church, I can't guarantee that they wouldn't side with her after that. So that's what it is. He's trying to make Veronica like the one to lead the charge, right? So then it wouldn't be just like, oh, a mechanoid gone rogue and attacking Babylonia just because of the punishing or something like that. No, he's creating this grand motif to drag everyone else onto the battle. He's trying to lay all the responsibility on her. Exactly, because if he wanted this revenge himself, which he should, considering we all know shows this history, he should be the one to have already done it, but he's not. But then again, if he does it, it would be almost like saying that he's still alive, if it really is Schultz. Veronica does not press the button right away. Alexei, you've been acting strange lately. Weren't you always friendly to humans, improving their conditions, speaking up for them? Ah, yes, she's noticing the changes too. And again, it's like, if he really was on her side, why didn't he just do it himself? And also, the fact that it's like, but how would Han Ying and them have even gotten here in the first place, right? Because the commandant's on the side of humans, that would seem more like the real Alexei. So then why would this one be like that? Turns a suspicious gaze toward Alexei. I must have told you before.
No matter how much you mechanize yourself, you can never become a mechanoid. You don't have a mechanoid's core. Why is a human so eager to destroy his own kind? Perhaps I've been hurt by humans one too many times.
She's this bullet-riddled mechanical arm and lets out a soft sigh.
I trusted them. Like you said, I tried to improve their conditions and fight for something better for them, but what did I get in return? I'm tired, Veronica. Besides, isn't building a new world for mechanoids our shared dream?
A flicker of madness crosses his purple eyes.
In this new world, there will be no more capricious humans. No more sanctimonious virus. Only a perfect world forged from an ocean of steel. Mechanoids possess stronger bodies, superior computing power, and an unshakable order. Meanwhile, humans barely survive the torment of the punishing virus. Mechanoids should rightfully take their place. Above all, there'll be no more lies in that world.
As his madness subsides, an inexplicable glint returns to his eyes.
Veronica, I've witnessed the rise and fall of the mechanoids in Aerospace City as a mechanist. Today, you may finally lead them toward a future that truly belongs to your kind. I just want to make sure that I always witness the final scene.
Looks up, his expression heavy with sorrow. Not a single tear falls from his eyes.
I still can't understand your kind, after all. Even if the final charging phase has begun, Bifrost can't be activated immediately. I'll remain in the control room and ensure no one interferes with it. But the situation in the city remains tense. The Resistance won't take a day off just because of this. You understand what I mean. Of course, I'll return to command the mechanoids to suppress the Resistance.
Despite what he said, Alexei remains rude on the spot.
Are you that eager to see me press the button right in front of you? I just remembered something else.
I wanted to arouse further suspicion from Veronica. Alexei hastily excuses himself and hurries out of the control room.
What did I miss? Bro! Oh, was I just supposed to, like, counter her ultimate move, maybe, or something? Because she was raising the spear and, like, charging energy and stuff. Was I supposed to block that? Maybe that's what I was supposed to do. Damn it. Ah, well, not my problem now.
General conflict. Thin silhouette stands behind a curtain wall. The bulletproof panel shielding him from the deafening gunfire outside.
What if you let Vera just lose? True, he could do that. But then again, it's like, I think he also wants to create chaos in the fact that it's like, Commandant is also there, right? I think if Veronica just lost the battle, yeah, it could be enough, but again, that wouldn't necessarily be enough for like Babylonia to go all out to destroy the world, you know? But I think because of the Commandants here, the situation's changed. And again, this is just my hypothesis, nothing more, but it would make more sense because getting rid of the hero of humanity, the Commandant, who saved the world multiple times, would rile up a lot of people, and a lot of investors too. Because again, they've had no need to actually go up against the Church of Machina. They know their existence, but nothing else besides it. And again, without Nanami here, it's like the only one who can really try to establish peace between the two with the power and the authority would be Commandant. And yes, I know, like, for some reason, the trailers and the game itself say Commandant, but I'm not doing that. Hundreds of meters below him, rows of mechanoid guards are escorting captured Resistance soldiers through the streets. Gunfire continues to echo through nearby districts. Oh, wait, no. I see what you're saying, Dragosai. You mean, like, if I let Veronica fall in battle while I play as her, is that what you mean? I mean, I guess, but she had 515,000 HP, though. I'd have to let it go on for so damn long. But, I mean, maybe that is it, right? Because it's something that's hidden. Maybe I do have to do that. Like I said, I'll see if maybe at some point I decide to do it off stream or something and see if that works. If not, then it's like, it's whatever. This is above me too much. Yeah, so you just lost to her when she split herself off.
I don't know, but would I get an achievement for losing though? I mean, maybe I did at one point, but I don't know, because it's like, it doesn't really record your losses like that as achievements, only when you pass. That's the only thing I can think of. But again, maybe you're right, maybe that is what I would have to do, but again, I don't see myself that eager to have to test that out. But it could be something I could try out. Form is the Mechanoid control array suggested by Veronica. Press the resistance is such a vague order. Without a doubt, it gives them far too much room for interpretation. I am deaf. I am your conqueror. Vindi vidi vici. Man, you will perish in this war. His empire will rise from a world staining crimson. With Greyraven's assistance, the refugees have found temporary shelter in another vacant docking bay. How are they holding up?
They're doing okay. They still trust Dimitri. Although they were angry when they were handed over, they weren't actually harmed, so...
After being reassured by both you and Liv that this is all part of a plan, the refugees harbor no real hostility toward Yulia. Yulia understands that this is meant to protect her, so she's not voiced any objection. That's good to hear. Just as the crowd settles down and the head count begins, a sudden commotion erupts among the refugees. What's going on? Yulia clutches a perforated note tightly in her hands, expression eerily calm amid the surrounding chaos. Dimitri? Where did he go?
I think Yulia mentioned that he went to Bifrost?
If Spikehead catches him, we'll die. I know he's in charge of maintaining the energy systems and know his way around the reactor. But those mechanoids controlled by Spikehead, they won't care if he's one of their own when they strike. Domain's words fall like salt upon snow, something with little optimism they have managed to build. Yulia finally notices a new presence and turns her gaze toward Liv.
Dimitri slipped away during the chaos, leaving only this note behind.
With composure, she hands the note to Liv. The text is formed by densely arranged tiny holes, a communication method unique to mechanoids. Miss Eula. 39 is an aerospace systems engineer. My original designated mission since my creation has been to maintain Bifrost power systems. I'm familiar with the reactor's structure, and withstand the radiation levels from the control core. Our only chance to stop the launch is for me to shut it down. Oh, I see. Right, because he was really acquainted well with STC-39, so that's how we would know. Truly sorry for acting on my own without consulting you. My memories can always be backed up. I believe Sage's revelation will awaken me again one day. When that time comes, I'll surely recognize Miss Eula's kindness once again. I'll return to your side as your companion once more. For the city to survive until that day, please allow me this one selfish act. Han Ying and the kids from Babylonia will ensure your safety. The brief note brings heavy silence to the empty hangar. Every street in the city has become a war zone. Approach Bifrost Foundation, most heavily guarded mechanoid stronghold, and infiltrate the reactor's control core for manual shutdown. It's nothing short of a fool's errand.
But Han Ying is already headed to Bifrost's main control room. It's not that Dima doesn't trust Han Ying. It's just... he can never bring himself to stand by and watch.
Bites her lip. It's a feeling she understands all too well.
Regardless, I can't let him watch to his death.
Girl maintains a composed expression, making it impossible to guess what kind of resolve is brewing within her. Tucks the note into her jacket pocket tenderly, as if handling an irreplaceable treasure. Gripped her wheelchair's hand rims firmly, she wheels herself into the clamoring crowd of refugees.
Everyone, please, hear me out. You can all see the situation we're in now. I'm sorry. It was my fault that we were captured by the mechanoids before.
Eyes her deeply from her wheelchair to the refugees. We all know it was part of the plan. Sure, we had it rough for a bit, but everyone made it back safe and sound, didn't we?
That's right. If it weren't for Dimitri, who knows how many of us would be standing here. We couldn't just watch while Spikehead wiped his memories and turned them into a vegetable. We can't live with that. Thank you all. You've all heard how Han Ying explained the situation outside. Ever since the Resistance attacked Alexei, Veronica has begun rounding up humans throughout the city. It's not just us. They've taken every human in the city. The mechanoids, they're done maintaining even a pretense of peace with humans. But this is our city, the place we called home all this time. The punishing virus glows red everywhere outside the city. If we leave here, where else can we possibly go? I won't deny it. I want to help Dima in a different way. But isn't helping Dima also helping ourselves? If we keep living like this, there are only two possible outcomes. Either the mechanoids who have already destroyed this peaceful facade drag us to their gallows, or we'll wait for Veronica to activate Bifrost, get blown to bits by Babylonia's orbital cannons. Are you all just going to resign yourselves to death?
The distinct click of a weapon being loaded breaks the silence, followed by a second, third, fourth. The sound of rounds being chambered pierces the deadly silence. The refugees have somehow managed to proclaim their confiscated weapons from the defeated mechanoid guards and are now rearming themselves. The movements may lack the uniformity, the resistance, but their vigor surpasses that of the soldiers that produce the murderous machines fueled by hatred and iron law. Dying like that would be pathetic. Even we can't fight our way to the reactor, we still give those crazed metal bastards a run for their money.
If Spycat gets her way, we're as good as dead. Hiding in our little corner at the dumping ground, sometimes it feels like we're nothing but parasites.
We've done our share of dirty deeds. Every time we tell ourselves it was for survival. But if we keep being cowards at a time like this, I swear I'd crawl out of hell and travel to the past just to slap some sense into myself now. As the refugees prepare their equipment, Liv stands nearby, pressing her lips together. I feel like I'm about to see something incredible here.
Yeah.
Even as a bystander, you can feel the determination burning bright. Humans may be flawed and deceitful at times, but when faced with a common enemy, they can still come together and work as one.
Alright then, let's go.
When completes the preparations, Yulia is now armed with a handgun. She also cradles a bulky xenon lamp in her arms, likely equipment required from one of the refugees.
Maybe when all this is over, we can truly start living again.
She puts special emphasis on those last words. Above the discarded steel frames and dumping ground, snow-covered buildings during the day and the automatic floodlights during the night are nowhere to be seen. Streams of bullets and energy beams cut through the smoke-stained sky, while explosions of varying sizes bloom like raindrops hitting a pond. Waves of muffled, destructive thunder roll in from the distant horizon. The small unit remains unaware that the mechanoids guarding the resistance have completely gone haywire. They've turned their weapons against the humans, inflicting devastating casualties on the prisoners of war who could barely mount a defense. Like a relentless mixer of blood and fire, the battlefield continues to pour its toll onto the furnace of feudal slaughter. This endless darkness, no light pierces through. So the light-bearing maiden begins her own crusade, all for the sake of her companion who has ventured alone in its danger.
This is cool because, again, I like how at times we really are kind of seeing where it's like, it doesn't always have to be the hero who has to voice stuff, who has to bring people together to unite them. It can be the actions of an ordinary person, or just someone who wants to help someone close to them, who's been through the same kind of hell with them. Like, we had the same when it came to those people from the cult at one point. Let's see, I think we had another one as well. When was the other one back? I think it was even further back, but I don't remember. But it's like people actually banding together for a cause that may seem like a high risk, but at the same time it's like, it's better than just standing around doing nothing and thinking about what ifs all the time. Begin the mist. Natural light pours through the rectangular opening, covering a trapezoidal patch of soft brightness against the dim interior. Han Ying stands beneath the red emergency lights of the maintenance tunnel when a sudden comms request comes through. Cervantes, finally got through to you. I was worried you might have run into trouble too. I'm almost there. How's the situation in Aerospace City?
There's a noticeable urgency in his voice due to intermittent electromagnetic interference. It's rare to hear the usually composed Cervantes speak at such a rapid pace. The situation inside the church may not look good as well.
The situation in Aerospace City is rather concerning. The comms blackout is likely due to Bifrost, the city's magnetic accelerator track charging up. Its electromagnetic waves are interfering with my comms channel.
Bifrost is charging? After comes Cervantes sounds a little surprised.
The electromagnetic interference is getting worse, so I'll be brief. Veronica has taken control of the entire city because of the death of the previous hanged man.
But hearing her brief explanation, Cervantes falls into deep thought. Justice, Veronica, the Emperor?
I can't say for certain whether the Emperor had a hand in this or not. It's quite possible, but if he really is behind this, his motives are bound to be more complicated than they appear. Don't underestimate Veronica's strength. She's always been rather obsessive, so you must be careful you end up in direct confrontation with her. I will. Also, I found some leads about the Sage's key.
To calm this conflict, Han Ying never loses sight of her original purpose. After extensive investigation, she finally finds a lead on those supplies. The key was transported along with her frame, where no signals detected elsewhere in the city. It must have been moved to the city's warehouse.
That's good to hear.
Electromagnetic interference intensifies, causing the comm signal to fluctuate again.
Stop Bifrost from launching. Be careful with everything. Understood.
Communication cuts off again. Bifrost begins charging up again. Time's running out. He starts forward with determination as a sea of dark green ripples to the soft white light behind her. Her robe's trailing hem flows her ethereal grace, each ripple a testament to her nimble elegance. Her silver hairpin serves as a seal, concealing her true feelings beneath a mask of graceful composure. But when her hair comes undone and blade light dances, resolve to break free from her bonds transforms into a lethal strike, piercing straight through the heart of the past. That is a cold mind, I will admit. To the autonomous mechanoid control array, Lexi executes the most brutal of commands. Machines throughout Aerospace City begin hunting humans without mercy, turn the streets into rivers of blood. Sitting motionless behind the curtain wall, he feels an immense satisfaction even as his body, barely held together by machinery and prosthetics, is on the edge of complete breakdown.
Ah, Sage, oh great Sage. Did you really think I would die so easily? No, that won't happen. The things you won't do, I'll do them for you.
Says that the streets burning crimson with warfare obsessively.
Damn it.
Excruciating pain spreads from deep within his consciousness. Lexi collapses beside the control array console, desperately pressing his temples. Though securely attached, his mechanical arm no longer responds to his neurosignals. Like a broken remote-controlled toy, it twitches and jerks mechanically, repeating meaningless movements.
My head. It hurts. Where am I?
Looks around, but his memory offers no clue as to how he got here. The deeper he searches, the more frequently blank spaces intrude into his memories.
Right. Bifrost.
Supporting himself with his right arm, he peers out the window. At the edge of his vision, the massive accelerated track is enveloped in an almost divine corona of electrical arcs. The gunfire and smoke below its towering base seem to belong to another world entirely. Realm of corruption.
Veronica.
Can no longer form coherent words. Fluid cops up, splatters across the smooth surface of the control panel screen. Deterred by his condition, the governor steadies himself on both feet and advances step by step toward the corridor leading to Bifrost. Though sin is beyond redemption. After all, he has unwittingly become the catalyst for everything, and her accomplice.
Perhaps the imprisoned captives are more fortunate than those still locked in this fierce battle.
Mechanoids. The sensors glowing blue. Faithfully execute Veronica's containment orders, acting more like guards than prison wardens. Small groups of resistance soldiers and captured civilians huddle in makeshift winter coverings, exchanging whispered words.
What's happening out there? Something doesn't feel right about this sniper mechanoid. Keeping us under control is all Spikehead wants. Goes to show he still can't get by without our labor. No point stooping to these toasters' level. Once this is over, we might even get to negotiate with Spikehead directly. No, what I mean is, it seems like... Says direct below, something that's beneath the transparent arc of the guard mechanoid sensors. The veteran soldier who had been lying relaxed seems to sense something amiss and props himself on his elbow to look around. Before the young soldier can even react, a new sound pierces the air. Seemingly shields his head with both arms from the flash. A faint blast right by him. While it feels sticky, spits of blood splattering against the skin on his forearms. Ominous smell. It's not blood. Opens his eyes to find two bloody limbs remaining on the bed where the veteran was. As if her body was propped up just now, it was vanished, placed by remains of flesh and bone scattered across the floor. The young soldier lets out a blood-curdling scream and instinctively reaches out for his holster. Something beneath the lever. The mechanoids already confiscated all their weapons. The soldiers erupted into chaos. The seemingly docile mechanoids instantly revert to their savage nature, slaughtering anything their senses detect as having life signature. The battle-hardened leader reacts swiftly, not swiftly enough to match the mechanoid's speed. The revolving gunfire tears through his barbed frame, leaving a mist of blood in his wake. People scatter in all directions, the imprisoned civilians descending into uncontrollable panic. Mechanical creations march forward under their new orders, driving the humans into a hopeless corner. With a concerto of automatic weapons, flesh blooms into flowers of death. Remains, lemon shreds, and metal fragments rain down like merciless hailstorms led far north, flooding the chaos below. Such a burning flesh nearly makes them dizzy, but the human sheer numbers remain their last advantage. Driven by survival instinct, the soldiers swarm an isolated mechanoid, forcibly tearing the automatic weapon from its arm. Their lives vanish with each passing second this desperate struggle. Piercing screams of agony echo through every corner of the street. The mechanoid takes apart his former comrade right before his eyes, while he remains immobilized by bullet wounds in his legs. He spatters across his body as he desperately crawls toward the street corner. There's nothing he can do now. The fresh killing field falls into instant silence as thick brown clouds of dust shroud both humans and machines alike. What is that? The mechanoid reinforcements? Eyes on the ground, teetering on the edge of despair. Blinding light pierces through the battlefield's dust clouds. From the distant darkness comes a sound, different from anything before. Sounds of gunfire and human calls fill the air. Then, a composed voice of command brings everything together. Mechanoids neutralized at 3 o'clock.
The girl in the wheelchair raises her xenon lamp high. Its luminance cuts through the gunsmoke, dispelling the gloom like a lighthouse in the mist, guiding all those who still draw breath. Behind her stand the refugees weathered and scarred by their ordeals. Their weathered faces show not a trace of fear. Guided by the light, more armed figures emerge from behind a wall of smoke. The lamp in her hand is light and calm. Leashes of power that can cut through any darkness after this explosion. The beckons to the lost warriors, showing them their path once more. Yulia, name that means eternal gentleness and perpetual grace. Father's tragic indecision in the face of conflict has turned the hopes behind her name into bitter irony. But in this moment, she finally reclaims the power to define her name. To be gentle does not mean to run away.
I am Yulia. Everyone, please stand.
States this self-evident fact with her characteristic tranquility. The rescued resistance soldiers remain frozen in place. She repeats her invitation, maintaining her gentle tone.
These people might seem like cowards to you for accepting the mechanoid's protection, but they understand what has kept them alive. If this city falls, all our stances become meaningless. Now the mechanoids have drawn first blood.
A few resistance soldiers slowly rise to their feet, their eyes fixed on Yulia. The harsh light reflects in their view.
Should we meekly lay down our arms and walk into the night, or blindly fight on driven by hatred? No. I don't think anyone would choose either of those options.
More soldiers rise to their feet.
We fight for our right to survive, and we fight to restore the city to what it once was. Join us. Take up your weapons.
Her voice remains calm, yet each word carries an unwavering strength. One by one, people begin dusting off their weapons, helping each other up. Gradually gather around Yulia, trying to give everybody a shared purpose. The dying resistant leader reaches out to Yulia with his right hand. Closes her eyes briefly, then leans forward to accept the olive branch extended by the dying militant in his last breaths. Their bloodstained touch he sends as a final moment of repentance. It's Yulia Tereshkova, daughter Leonid Tereshkova, the research director of the Bifrost Starship Magnetic Accelerator Track project of Tsiolkovsky's Aerospace City. Now she must traverse this endless sea of blood, leading her people to salvation, but for sure. The wheelchair's motors hum to life, its wheels sending subtle vibrations through its frame. Red sensor lights begin to gleam once more through the smoke at the far end of the street. A new army of mechanoids marches toward their position. Yulia turns to the advancing soldiers around her, calls out the words everyone's been waiting to hear. Citizens of Aerospace City, take up arms and survive. That's cool. But I see. So that's why her vehicle had, or that's why Han Ying's vehicle had gotten attacked. Right, because they said that there was probably a problem, so they decided to ship out Han Ying, because she was in a vulnerable state. And I guess along with her, they decided that sending the key was best. Thinking that she'd be able to take care of it, but then it was attacked. Then they took the key. But I'm wondering why they didn't take Han Ying as well. If I had to guess, it was probably something along the lines like, it'd be too dangerous to bring someone who actually knows how to use the key, someone else who knows how to use the key with them, considering she could try to use it for her own means. Like as a way to counter them. Maybe that's why. And also, I guess probably because the Cocoon is such a large thing that they would have to like move, and it was probably better to just let her die out over there. But damn, 4 achievements? This is not gonna be good. I'm probably gonna get 2 at most if I'm lucky. Majestic bridge towers against the horizon as biting winds sweep up flurries of snow from the ground. At the far end of the bridge, the setting sun casts its blinding rays. Veronica. What a nuisance. A dignified mechanoid woman turns her head with cold indifference. Form silhouetted by the dazzling light. I said it before. The church's internal struggle is none of my concerns. You're welcome to observe, but if you choose to interfere, I won't show mercy just because we're kin. What if I tell you that Alexei might be controlled by a traitor from the church? Is that none of your concerns as well? Don't think I'll hold back just because we're both mechanoids. Spear cuts through the swirling snow, stepping straight at Han Ying. I'm not lying to you, Veronica. Alexei contacted us not long ago. He begged us to save those humans and stop you, or make an even graver mistake. He said he couldn't control himself anymore. He completely lost control of his mind. He begged us not to activate Bifrost. Us? We're just another mechanoid brainwashed by humans. Like his words come out as a reflexive growl, but when he stirs thinner, his voice remains as cold as ice. So what? Are you saying humans don't deserve to die? Even putting aside what happened to Alexei, don't humans deserve this fate after everything they've done? You're not seeing the whole truth. How ignorant. You're a mechanoid too. Are you blind to the suffering humans have inflicted on our kind? But more humans are helping our kind where you can't see. And there are more who... I only trust what I've seen with my own eyes. Our games disappear into the distance. Tragedy Aerospace City still etched in their visual module. They called SDC-39 a rampaging monster, claiming it was a carrier of the punishing virus that would kill our humans. I wanted to lead them to safety. Is that really okay? I'm just a human. Can I really join this Church of Machina? Of course. Church of Machina welcomes all displaced souls. This city is no place for you anymore. Come with me and leave this place behind. It was also an evening with snow dancing in the air. While modules indicate the temperature was just as bitter as today, the sunset seemed more brilliant than ever before in Veronica's memory. The Hanged Man. Initiating search. The Hanged Man. The 12th major arcana card in the tarot deck. It is used to interpret fate and fortune.
The hangman represents an extension of justice. I may not quite understand the meaning of fate, but I'm never fond of this position. Does this position belong to SDC-39? It is yours. What about me? Is there a position for me as well? You're merely human. There's no seat for you in the Church of Machina. Ah, I see. What a pity. But it's fine. I'm the best mechanical engineer in Aerospace City. I could be of great help to you. But I can't leave yet. Bifrost isn't complete yet. Only when it is finished can humanity and mechanoids journey together to the stars. Humans have started to notice you, SDC-39. It's alright. Humans are friendly.
Oh, I see. So he had just been given that name by that point. And that's why they said he didn't even get his first mission. Because right when he was starting this on his own, that's when it happened.
Humans are friendly. These were the last words SDC-39, the previous hangman, spoke to me. The next day, humans brutally tore him apart. Those humans were deceived. They tampered with the data reports the humans saw.
In connection, because they weave through all these events like an invisible thread.
It's the Emperor. It has to be the Emperor.
Oh, wow. Right, I see. Because he's the Emperor. He sacrificed SDC-39 as a pawn to start this whole debacle. He needed a sacrifice to stir up the Church of Machina, since he had already failed with what happened in Kowloon. So he decided to use this place, which already had 2 agents there. Wow. That's fucked up. But it does lives up to his title, I guess. And yeah, again, considering he was an AI previously within Gestalt, he would have the means to like interfere with the reports and make it seem like he was punishing.
The Emperor betrayed the Church. He planned to invade Kowloon where we were integrating with Kowloon's network. And now, he's trying to seize Aerospace City. You still don't understand, Han Ying. Who they are and what they want no longer matters. The fuse is done burning, and war is about to begin.
Say it's a Bifrost, Veronica points a spear toward the city below.
Open your eyes and see this war for what it truly is, Han Ying.
Inside Aerospace City, artillery fire lights up the sky. Mechanoids have been ordered to fight into their last breath. Those are just one arm left on their frames continue to strike at their opponents.
All of this is humanity's doing.
Somewhere, humans have breached the defenses. As the alarm rose through the sky.
Humans fear what they cannot understand. They're afraid that awakened machines will take their place as rulers. They murdered SDC-39 and slaughtered our kin awakened by Sage's murals. And when they saw my power, they cowered in fear and sent forth that so-called supervisor to die. Foolish, absurd, driven only by ignorant, destructive desires. This is the humanity you protect. The humanity you trust.
Wow, I see. So even she saw that as an ugly side to humanity, what they did to the supervisor, to Julia's father. Even though she didn't agree necessarily with humans, seeing one of them sacrifice their own so the rest could be safe like that. That just skewed her view of humans even more so as to being disgusting. I mean, I can't blame her for that. All she sees is the dark side of humanity.
But many of our mechanoid kin have also perished meaninglessly in this endless cycle of bloodshed.
Speak softly. Okay, usually hesitates for a moment.
I preserved all their memory units. When the battle ends and mechanoids rise to supremacy, I'll transport them all into better vessels. All these sacrifices are worth it, even if I can die for this fight. As long as we can create a world for mechanoids, everything is worth the price. I will activate Bifrost and launch the Vanguard fleet to seize air superiority. The skies don't belong to humans alone. Once we get inside Babylonia. But if that's the case, what difference is there between mechanoids and these destructive humans?
She understands Veronica's anger. Seeing fellow mechanoids treated this way fills her with rage too. To blame humanity as a whole for the wrongdoings of a few? How would such mechanoids be any different from humans who label all mechanoids as infected? Besides, those researchers who executed STC-39 were likely deceived by the Emperor.
Stop this, Veronica. Bifrost shouldn't be activated for this.
It can carry hopes toward the stars and send as a beacon in the far north, but it should never become the starting point of an even greater war.
There's nothing left to say. Though I never imagined my weapon would one day be pointed at my own. If you wish to stop me, Han Ying, you'll have to step over my body.
Oh, here we go. Oh yeah, here we go, the entrance.
誰にも邪魔させない。
I'm very familiar with it.
たとえ同胞であろうとも。
復調しなくちゃ。剣の調べは四面楚歌。眉の金箔乱流と解く轟音に散れ。強戦は烈罰よなけ。
予想通り。
強戦は霊獣
どけ。
強化を踏み砕く。
無駄だ。
放煙
裁きの時だ。
四面楚歌眉の金箔乱流と解く轟音に散れ。
まだわからないのか。我々の未来に人間は不要。
復調しなくちゃ。強戦は霊獣罰よなけ。
人間は終わりだ。無意味な慈悲。また手加減をしているのか。
強戦強化を踏み砕く。残響に乗せて全て滅びなさい。
どれだけ止められても
剣の調べは
我々の時代を切り開く。
強戦は霊復調しなくちゃ。罰よなけ。強戦は霊獣
審判を。
強戦は霊獣
未来を譲らない。
強化を踏み砕く。残響に乗せて全て滅びなさい。
この槍で旧世界を貫く。偽りの天国を撃ち落とす。人間は終わりだ。
強戦は霊獣
無意味な慈悲。また手加減をしているのか。
復調しなくちゃ。強戦は霊強化を残響に乗せて全て滅びなさい。
審判を。見届けよう。我々もお前たちを守れない。この槍で旧世界を貫く。人間は終わりだ。
強戦は霊獣
偽りの天国を撃ち落とす。
剣の調べは連綿と眉の金箔乱流と解く。
人間は終わりだ。見届けよう。我々の未来を。この槍で 旧世界を貫く審判を
残響に乗せて全て滅びなさい。
Okay, thank God. All my practice at PPC finally paid off. Whew. I will say, it was definitely tough having to do with only Hanying, but luckily I was like, wait, I can't counter, right? And after I saw I could, I'm like, oh boy, let's go. Like, oh yeah, there's also Disco coming in as an A rank. Remember that from the event story when Crimson Weave came out? Oh yeah, I did see that Crimson Weave Discord being in everyone. I think it's good finally, because again, it's like we're introducing Cossacks who have been a part of the story for a while, although not a big of a scale. At least finally getting involved, you know, like we did with Bridget, which I am glad for. Church buddy, how are you? Hey Yuki, what's going on? I'm doing good. Just catching up on Punching Grey Raven and just doing a couple streams before my birthday. So yeah. How are you, Yuki? Did you finish the demo for Trails in the Sky first chapter yet? Sorry, I haven't been to your streams lately. I saw that you've been going at it for a while, but you've just been either very tired or at work, so I've been able to catch it recently. Well, I'll try to. At least this week. Alexei. Veronica falls on the feet, she staggers backward, losing her balance. Instead of Alexei supporting arms behind her, what awaits her is Veronica. Annie springs up, using her hairpin to push Alexei back in one fluid motion. She's too late. Instead, Alexei plunges his dagger deep into Veronica's frame. It's good to hear. It's okay, Twitch boy. Happy you're disappointed. Yeah, no problem. Like always. Surrender your frame controls, Veronica. Justice. Alexei's once composed face twists into a grimace as he cleanly grips the dagger. I once looked forward to being amazed by you, but now I see you're just too weak. But it's fine. I'll take your place, lead the mechanoids, and create a world where only mechanoids exist. In his mind, he's already envisioning a grand majestic world of mechanoids, a blueprint now lying within his reach. A world of mechanoids. This can't be. Veronica struggles to prop herself up, saying in disbelief at the figure before her. Someone looked familiar, yet feels like a complete stranger. Stop struggling, Veronica. You're not Alexei. Of course I'm not. That fragile coward thinks he can enter the sanctum of mechanoids with his mere human flesh. Such hubris demands a price. Wouldn't you agree? Every living being pays the price for their choices. You and I both. Didn't you say it yourself? That everything could be sacrificed for a mechanoid kin. No, I won't let you harm Veronica. I won't allow it. Alexei, you won't survive without me. The pathetic wreck of a body you have can't possibly sustain. Even so, I won't let you hurt Veronica. Alexei yanks the dagger out of Veronica's frame, struggling with all his might against the ever-presence within his body. You may control my vocal and visual module, but... His fingers tense up as those sparks bursted from his mechanical arm. You will never control my will. After several moments of internal struggle, Alexei's own mind finally prevails. He seizes the dagger and with all his might plunges deep into his chest. Alexei! Hanging around, Veronica struggles to prop herself up. I'm sorry, Veronica. With his battered mechanical body, Alexei crawls slowly toward Veronica. Why? I'm sorry. I can't control my body anymore. The one who calls himself the Emperor. His mind is like a digital ghost, controlling every mechanical part of me. But he can't control my mind. My mind has always been human. Coulson lets out a slow, bitter laugh. You used to mock me, didn't you? But I could never fully become a mechanoid no matter what. That wasn't my intention. Veronica's never realized how her harsh words become blades, deeply wounding her friend. I know you've always been like this. He speaks slowly, his gaze fixed on Veronica as if trying to engrave every detail of her appearance into his visual module.
I'm sorry, Veronica. Please, stop Bifrost and end this war. It's all my fault. I was too arrogant, thinking I could have it all under control. Those aren't the words you spoke to me. If we successfully drag humanity into the abyss, these tragedies will never happen again. This is the bridge's final charge, Veronica. Babylonia is within our grasp now. There will be no more lies in that world. Veronica, I witnessed the rise and fall of mechanoids in aerospace city as a machinist. Today, you may finally lead them toward a future that truly belongs to your kind. I didn't know his origins, but a ghost who called himself the Emperor told me he could help me become a real mechanoid, so...
Ah, he wanted to be on even ground with them. I see. He wanted a chance. He wanted a chance to be one of them. Because SDC-39 was able to become the new Hanged Man. But there was no room for Alexei in the Church of Machina the way he was. The way Veronica had phrased it. So he just wanted the power to stand by them. Saying they all were working towards something that seemed beautiful.
I'm sorry, Veronica. I can't deny it. All this calamity might have been caused by my own selfish desires.
Is it the woman before him giving her his final smile?
I'm sorry, Veronica.
Damaged mechanical parts emit quiet beeps as Alexei's expression freezes in place. Some unfinished words cut short. Female mechanoid suddenly struggles to her feet, using her spear to support herself.
Veronica, take it.
Tells her memory unit to Hanyu.
Connect the key to Bifrost's central control system. It'll seize its activation sequence. Your wounds. That's not where my core is. My core is somewhere else.
As the dagger pieces her shell, she notices something strange. The blade, originally aiming at her frame's core, was twisted in an unusual direction. Perhaps Alexei had already begun fighting the Emperor for control over his body since then.
Go. Shut down Bifrost before I change my mind.
Stands before Alexei's broken body, sawn as a gravestone.
Dimitri.
As Veronica sees her orders, the mechanoids gradually stop fighting. Sees this opportunity, Yulia rushes toward Bifrost where Dimitri awaits. Blizzard rages on. Dimitri's broken frame lies exposed in the swirling snow, so frail that the wind could seemingly lift him into the sky at any moment.
Cut off power. Stop Bifrost launch.
Despite his memory shell being damaged from his connection process, Dimitri stubbornly continues to repeat his previous actions.
This place, it's beautiful. Stars? Yes, stars. The Earth. Would it look like this from space? A tiny blue star? Once Bifrost is built, we'll be able to go see it for ourselves.
Snow falls heavily from the sky.
Quick, hide, Dimitri. Don't let Dad find out I snuck you out. Miss Yulia. This goes against Dad and the others' new rules. He said all abnormal mechanoids must be eliminated, and that you're one of them. But why would Dima be an abnormal mechanoid? I never thought Dima was abnormal. Dima's my friend. He always greets me whenever we meet.
PGR's graphics somewhat comparable to Woa from Carefree A. I don't know. I mean, combat-wise, I'd say somewhat, but I'd say it's a bit more different. Because here it's more like a apocalyptic world, so I guess it's supposed to have like darker colors, a bit more of like a grainy feel to it. But I would say combat-wise, I definitely do see it in a lot of their actions. At least that's from my perspective of it after playing both games for so long. Well, I guess I can't really say for so long, considering I've only played PGR almost for a whole year now. But yeah, I'd say it's like, they at least make themselves distinct from one another with their settings and everything. But in regards to like the combat and like the extra features that they do every now and then, it definitely does like resemble it to an extent. And it's like they can both elevate themselves in their own way. Like PGR, I think the height of it was when we had the DMC5 collab. Like, have you seen what Dante and Virgil can do in this game? Whew. Definitely is peak. And in Wuthering Waves, I would say so far with Augusta's like ult, it's like it has a really flashy feel. It does kind of feel similar to like what Vera's capable of, like both in her Garnet frame and Grey Roll frame, but Debbie has its own kind of like intense feel to it in its own way. Like one that screams more power than like fierceness. So yeah, I'd say they're comparable in their own ways, but they can both have like their heights that the other game can't necessarily like copy the same way. On Bifrost, the young girl propped herself up in a wheelchair, playfully imitating mechanoid movements.
I don't understand why things have suddenly changed like this. So many mechanoids are gone now. 39 who worked on Bifrost, Bal who worked the city gate, and... why did things turn out like this? We all live in Aerospace City together, so why can't we be family? Family. If only there weren't so many strange things happening here. We could have all lived together like we used to. Stop. Launch.
Michi is indeed familiar with the reactor structure. Just as he mentioned, having practiced the shutdown procedure numerous times before. Even with his memory shell circuits nearly completely destroyed, days to perform the action etched deep within his memories. Well, PGR is a little more difficult to play than WoW, but PGR's optimization is incredible. Playing on mobile looks just as good as PC. No, I will agree, yeah. It definitely is a bit more difficult to play, what with the matching orbs, let's see, the different mechanics regarding their ults, and also kind of like with the dodge framing and kind of like the hyper-real state as well, so there is kind of a lot more you kind of have to handle in battle at once. Not too much from WoW that makes it seem like completely different industries, but it is kind of like they both have their own intensities and kinds of gameplay that's like people would be suited to. And yeah, I could definitely say for certain that playing PC from mobile is definitely a bigger contrast than PGR compared to WoW, because it is pretty much the same, just a smaller screen. But when it comes to PGR, it's like your reaction times can kind of be different, because I play on controller on my PC for PGR, whereas on mobile it's like literally just on my phone tapping on the screen. So it's like the responses also can be kind of different. They have a big effect in battle at the end. It tumbles from a wheelchair, where every ounce of her strength left staggers into the howling blizzard.
Eula. Bifrost. Bifrost has been stopped. You did it, Dima. You did it.
Tears streamed down Yulia's face, crystallizing into ice.
That's wonderful. Without so many strange things happening here, we can all live together like we used to. That's wonderful, Eula. It's wonderful. Dima, you did it.
Dimitri's memory shell begins to collapse from forcefully connecting to the reactor. His visual module is growing increasingly blurry.
Eula, do mechanoids have souls too? Where do our souls go? Will I be able to see 39 there? You will, Dima. You will.
Shows Dimitri's body tightly, curling up into the howling snow.
Eula. Family. So cold here, Dima.
The mechanoid gives no response, but his body stays warm for a long while before slowly turning cold. The mechanoid would never respond again. Of fucking course I missed 2. Why am I not surprised? Whatever. I'm just letting it be.
I mean, I did start playing PGR on my phone for the longest time. Then when I moved to PC, I found it felt a lot better using controller than mouse and keyboard.
Okay. I mean, I could never play keyboard and mouse, to be honest. That's like very tricky to do. I don't think my reflexes are that like responsive for it. So shout out to all those who can actually play it on
皇帝
keyboard
の
mouse.
他のかけらを見つけ出して殺してやる。
アレクセイのためでしょうか。
いいえ、皇帝が我が同胞を殺したから。次に会う時も私たちは変わらず敵であるかもしれない。だが同胞として最後に忠告してやる。人間と機械体は同じ世界で暮らせるわけがない。
でもその未来を必ず見つけ出す。そうでしょう、指揮官。
Yo, I'll say it. I think that was a good place to put a cutscene. It may not have been action or anything, but it's like, I think we really did need to see that voiced. Because again, it's like, they both are two people from completely different backgrounds, where it's like, Honying has at least felt the kind of affection from humans that makes it think like Nanami's solution could be possible. It's not just a dream. Based on like, on Pulau before she ended up becoming a construct with her family and such. Whereas for Veronica, it's like, again, she's just really seen the dark side of the relationship between humans and mechanoids. That's kind of hard for her to understand it. Like, even if she sees the examples, it won't erase all the negativity that keeps, like, compounding itself into something much stronger over time. Because, like, even with the fact that it's like, we're all in a terrible world, we need to work together for this, people are still choosing to let this struggle continue, even though it's like, that's not the answer. You know it shouldn't be the answer, but that's just what happens sometimes. Though it shouldn't necessarily be inevitable, but it's like, it will still just continue like that. People will still have the different thoughts. But I like how that one was actually worth. And again, it would be interesting to see that whenever we get Veronica as a character, it's like, Hanyi also has to come back into the story for that sake, to like conclude that arc between them. I feel like that'd be really cool. But again, we'll just have to see what they do. Phew. But wait, you're telling me the Emperor still has more places where he can still be alive? Are you serious? I mean, to be fair though, I do like the Emperor as a villain, don't get me wrong. But it's like, would we bring him back in main story? Or would we only keep it in the floating records? Because that's the thing, it's like, for Veronica's... Because, again, seemingly she's supposed to be a character that we're going to get later in the game. At least based on the CN server, I think. But it's like, they probably would have to bring back the Emperor again. Because, again, it's like showing, like, both the light and the dark side of both the human side and the mechanoid side. Because the Emperor representing the dark side of them. That kind of makes them equivalent to humans in their own way. But it's like, would they make that main story? Or would they make that floating record? I hope they make it a main story, because again, it's like, it would be another way to like bring the Church of Machina like closer to having at least a connection with, what's it called? Babylonia, with the Commandant in the middle to help branch between them. But with our connection to Nanami, Hanyi, Cervantes, and many others potentially in the future. All of this just feels like the dreams I used to have. Dreams? From observer to participant to outsider, I was like a reader of a book, sitting within its pages and experiencing its story firsthand. As the snowstorm subsides, faint melancholy lingers in our eyes. You made your contribution to the story. If Honying hadn't reached out to Veronica, Babylonia might never have had the chance to make contact with Veronica. For Honying's help, it would have been nearly impossible for Liv and you to rescue the refugees on your own. If Honying had not held off Veronica, you wouldn't have been able to stop Bifrost's loss so quickly. For not for Honying. If Veronica activated Bifrost, Babylonia would have retaliated immediately. A full-scale war between mechanoids and humans would have been inevitable. Maybe. Looking back at Airspace City, the flames of war temporarily subsided. Humans and mechanoids rest on opposite sides, clearly divided. Till a wicked machine crosses the boundary. She gently offers the gathered food to the human she once knew so well. After a moment's hesitation, the human accepts her offer.
At least this story didn't end in the worst possible way. Right, Commandant?
Right. Despite all the conflicts born from prejudice and lies, Aerospace City may have preserved the possibility for humans and mechanoids to coexist.
I guess things are wrapping up here.
Not necessarily. Veronica has relinquished control over the city's mechanoids and returned to the Church of Machina to track down the Emperor. To support the remaining humans, Yulia had assumed the role of governor for now. Bifrost has ceased charging, and communications in the city have been restored. After discussions between Babylonia's diplomatic court and Aerospace City, both parties agree on terms for the joint development of Bifrost. Could everything really end this simply? After Cervantes' arrival, they had examined Alexi's body with Veronica's permission. Many mechanical pathways show signs of being sealed off. Alexei must have tried to prevent Schultz from escaping further, but he ultimately failed. God damn it. Where did the Emperor go?
I'm not sure. According to Cervantes, Schultz's true form is merely a piece of code. If he doesn't show himself, it might be nearly impossible to track him down.
Ah. So it just depends on how much of a connection he had back then, in his regular form. Damn, so he could be like sorcery, and like the fact that it's like he just has like multiple puppets, but just needs the heart to be placed into it. That will be a bit of a problem.
Veronica might have her own plans.
What about you?
Me?
Although Han Ying has not explicitly said it, her attitude and interactions with Veronica suggest that her journey to Aerospace City involves more than just looking for Veronica. Certain circumstances, is it? See Han Ying's hesitation, you're about to change the subject to avoid making her uncomfortable when a mechanoid with curly hair appears from behind Bifrost.
The church has discussed internally and agreed that we can reveal our existence to the Grey Raven Commandant. Sage has personally vouched for the Grey Raven Commandant's trustworthiness. Besides, even if we didn't tell the humans, they would likely have deduced this from the information they already have.
Cervantes? Although you never met him in person, you have heard about this mechanoid's existence from Constellia.
Hello, Grey Raven Commandant. I am Cervantes, the tower from the Church of Machina.
From Xanthos. Is this meant to be formal diplomatic invitation?
No, this is purely out of necessity. Due to certain arrangements made by Sage, I must inform you of some information in advance. While Han Ying's arrival at Aerospace City was unexpected, her purpose here was related to this information. She's accomplished her mission perfectly by finding Nis. Nis is Sage's will.
Hands over a terminal-sized case.
This is the key. A new key to activate the invitation.
What? Wait, you mean to Dominic's invitation? I figured it was an only thing, like whoever decide to use it or not, but no, it can't be that one, right? The invitation?
It's also a message left by Sage.
Sage you talk about. It's Nanami, right? Memories come flooding back. Dominic delivered the invitation to Chu through Nanami, the full sensory simulation device for Nanami used to decode the invitation. Damn, so there's another thing within the invitation? Well, then again, it's like we said before, Gestalt can't really operate at its full power because there are currently limits on it, right? And possibly by using the invitation, we can unlock more of Gestalt's capabilities. Hopefully, to get closer to the answer of what the punishing is and how to stop it. The two mechanoids remain quiet, the silence seemingly confirming speculation. It all makes sense now. Not only being the sage the mechanoids speak of, but she was always acting mysteriously, and Chu accounting her in Tabula Akasha.
I apologize, but I have other matters to attend to. Once I finish explaining everything to you, I'll have to take my leave. Sage informed me that this key is merely a replica due to certain circumstances. While it remains functional, it does have its limitations.
What kind of limitations?
I apologize, but I don't know any more about it. Sage only mentioned that this might be the last resort.
Ooh, a game changer. Last resort. The invitation. Password correct. Access granted. This different response echoes. A blinding light fills your vision. The data cube decrypts a brief password, revealing a letter composed of data streams. We did not intend to leave this letter in such an obvious, mysterious manner, but we had to ensure it would be opened by the right person at the right time. This is a forcibly replicated invitation, and thus we must ask once more. What is the current status of the Hetero Tower? While the interference displays the question, there's no space provided for answer. A waterfall of data streams pass, seemingly locking onto certain information before flickering and returning to stillness. Understood. What is the status of the contamination memetics? What is the current status of Babylonia? Just like the questions you faced before. Understood. This world has now met all the conditions to use the key. Please note that once the key is used to activate the invitation will lose its authority to turn the invitee into Dominic. With an activated invitation, you will be able to enter and utilize the Hetero Tower. If necessary, it can also be used to destroy and retrieve the tower's core. Enter the Hetero Tower? Please note that destroying the tower's core will have severe consequences. It should only be used as a last resort. I understand. A raw amount of information is processed rapidly through your mind. But wait, the tower isn't here anymore though, right? What else could I possibly use it for? Or, no, actually, no, because the tower's still gonna come in, right? Like, it's like they said before, the tower arrived sooner than it was intentionally supposed to, so is that what it is? Or when the tower's actually supposed to show up in this time normally? That's when we're supposed to use it? To get the core. Because we did try to get it before, but it wouldn't work. Maybe that's what it is. Again, I could be misremembering things, which I usually do a lot of the time, but I'm hoping I'm right on this. Its original form was, well, not very portable, but Xavier helped compress it down to this size. Sage mentioned that modifications will require installing an interface compatible with standard terminals. She seemed to prefer the original design, but she still allowed Xavier to make the changes for human use. I'll take my leave then. Please keep the matters concerning the Church of Machina between us as few humans as possible. The Church of Machina has no intention of opposing humanity at this time. Courteous bow, Cervantes departs from Bifrost. Ooh. Damn, I like this. Finally bringing back the key and Dominic's invitation. Cervantes, did you find it? Yes, this should be it. Has a small black box of Cervantes. That's it indeed. So what exactly happened to the church? The Emperor has returned to the church. What? He returned? Are you serious? Bro, why? Guess that explains why they had to move Han Ying and, what's it called? The key, right? Because Han Ying could have possibly been like another vessel for him, potentially, just like Elixir was. Have you located where it is? Pinpointing its location isn't difficult. There are no secrets in the Church of Machina. The real challenge is getting it out of here. Precisely because there are no secrets, every move we make must be completely justified. Especially since this thing was left behind by Sage. So he was definitely gonna. Oh my, Wheel of Fortune. What are you sneaking around here for? Wheel of Fortune? Zero leaps nimbly down the stairs where a bundle of long cables trailing behind. Just making some necessary judgments to upgrade my language module. That's not true. I heard you mention Sage. My audio module works just fine. You were trying to take something Sage left behind, and you were communicating it with someone else. Ah, I see. That's where they got their info. They had another traitor in the Church of Machina. Right, because it would make sense that not only one person thinks that mechanoids should have supremacy over humans. Just riding the coattails of Nanami's peaceful solution. No, you must have misunderstood. Enough. There's no need to hide anymore. We're kindred. There shouldn't be secrets between us.
Schultz, you despicable thing.
She closes in on a Wheel of Fortune and snatches the terminal from his hands. Her eyes narrowing, she examines the communication device.
What Sage despises, I despise as well. Sage has already disposed of you. You shouldn't even be alive.
Fending off Wheel of Fortune's attempts to grab the device, Zero frantically searches for a way to erase its data.
You maniac.
Zero, think carefully.
Why would I willingly reveal myself to you? To give Sage a chance to praise me, of course.
While fending off Wheel of Fortune's attempts to grab the device, Zero frantically searches for a way to erase its data. No, this is about Sage. This continues, we're heading towards a future without her.
What are you talking about?
Taking advantage of the distraction, Wheel of Fortune manages to snatch the terminal back from Zero's grasp. We're going to lose Sage and face a future without her. In Gestalt, I saw countless futures, but Sage is nowhere to be found in every possibility where humanity survives. And we're heading right down that path.
Ah, it is. He can also enter those simulations of the future.
God damn it. Of course the Emperor would somehow find a way. His existence probably is almost at the same level as Nanami. Almost.
Are you just gonna stand by and watch her disappear? Why should I believe you? What makes you think I trust you more than Sage?
Because she would never tell you about the future. A future without her.
He does make a fair point, because now that I think about it, if Nanami really was in all those other futures, then she would have changed stuff. She would have sent messages and stuff like she normally did in our timeline, but that wasn't the case. And even in the battle between mechanoids and humans, she wasn't there to like mediate between them. So something must have happened. Haven't you found it strange? She spends less and less time at the church, and our contact with her grows more distant by the day. But Sage dislikes you.
Though she somewhat believes the Emperor's words, Zero's eyes remain fixed on the miniature terminal with serpentine intensity.
That's because she cares for those humans. I, Schultz, and the Apostle of Sage's mechanical will. How could I possibly deceive you? The punishing virus won't interfere with our true cause, but humans will. She'd rather sacrifice herself to save those humans. Or to eliminate those humans, we can present to Sage the true world. What are you trying to do?
Simple enough. Just upload the code from this terminal into the Grey Tower, and then you can leave everything else to me.
Ah, I see. So that's how it happened.
That's what happened with the Grey Tower.
Only when Sage briefly returned did Zero finally reveal everything. As a punishment, she would be confined to the Church of Machina for some time.
Thank God. Y'all are lucky that Nanami came to save the day.
The Emperor collaborated with Wheel of Fortune to hijack a shipment of supplies, including you and the key. The Emperor must have been in contact with Veronica beforehand to arrange the delivery here.
Ah, there we go. I was about to say, how else would they have known where to get it? And why to take the key and leave her behind?
That all makes sense now. But she claims she had nothing to do with the internal struggle of the church. Veronica didn't understand the importance of the key, nor did she anticipate my arrival. Her desire was to destroy humanity had nothing to do with the church. She might indeed have nothing to do with it. The Emperor might have sent these supplies under different pretexts. As for the exact reasons, I'm not quite sure myself. That code blocked the Grey Tower's signal transmission, and the network protocols were only comprehensible to the Emperor. It took Xavier and Amina quite a while before they managed to fix it. I'm glad everyone's okay. We're fine for now, so if nothing serious comes up later.
Ah, I see. Because, again, in the worst case scenario, Nanami could have tried to come here and save the day. But in doing so, Hanying was literally left to her own device, but even he couldn't guarantee if she was going to be here or not.
Damn, sneaky Emperor.
From its vantage point, the once gleaming skyline is now obscured by scaffolding and construction equipment. To form a splitter hidden behind a maze of steel frames. Yet the absence of conflict is a testament to Aerospace City's revival. Babylonia has not only provided supplies for reconstruction, but also joined forces with Aerospace City troops to clear the surrounding forests. Refugees from the far north established settlements. The cycle of hatred shatters and crumbles as a new beginning rises from the ashes. Ma'am, fuel loading and system checks are complete. Ready for launch at any time.
Just Yulia is fine.
For stepping to the threshold into the future, she has to bid the past farewell.
I'll go check on it one more time.
Are we heading down to the track?
Yes. Let's go there.
She spins her wheelchair around and enters the elevator. Familiar weightlessness from the descent washes over her, momentarily freeing her from gravity's embrace. The automatic door slides seamlessly into the wall, revealing once again a pristine white world before her eyes. Salute! In the clear sky, soldiers' right arms rise upon her appearance, sweeping through the air like a cresting wave. Makes her way toward a distant spacecraft, passing by faces familiar and strange. Then Yulia comes to a halt beside a massive spacecraft. The black and white thermal tiles on the spaceship's underbelly remain sleek and pristine. Still creation, rather than becoming a bullet of hatred, stands here imbued with a new purpose. Gently caresses the spacecraft's hull as if touching the curved surface of a space helmet.
Stars. Yes, stars. The Earth. But it looked like this from space. A tiny blue star. One day we'll all make our way there.
Close to the siege, to the distant shore untouched by strife, toward the starry sky seeking the answers that belong to us.
Yulia, do mechanoids have souls too? Where do our souls go? Will I be able to see 39 there? You will, Dima. You will.
Yulia comes to her senses, traces of tears have already streaked down her cheeks. Inside the space shuttle's cabin lies the remains of fallen humans and mechanoids. The shadows have subsided above the clouds. Darkness fades, dawn always arrives as promised. She gently removes her hand from the metal hull, then maneuvers her wheelchair back to a safe distance.
Let them begin their journey.
The sharp crack of engine ignition, the shuttle's auxiliary launch pods begin emitting orange-yellow flames. The judge of Denai stands amidst the flowing flames of the liquid rocket engines, drifting downward with the pull of gravity, transforming this funeral into a spectacular curtain call.
Goodbye, Dima.
Perhaps she'll never truly be ready to accept this farewell, but they'll meet again one day. Massive vessels soars upward, drawing everyone's gaze to the sky. Yulia watches as the shuttle climbs into the vast heavens. The winter sun catches the edge of her vision, causing her eyes to close like curtains. Perhaps it's the tears welling up again. Vision grows increasingly blurry. The steel vessel gradually becomes a tiny, brilliant speck of light, and it vanishes into the depths of a cloudless void. The Corona wheelchair lingers at the edge of the track. Below, the city sprawls out beneath her feet, its buildings reaching toward the celestial dome, a reflection of past dreams among the stars. Jenny closes her eyes. Aw. That was kind of sweet. Like, allowing them to actually reach the stars that they had yearned for. To see a whole new world. Their world. Alright, and with that, I think that'll be the end of the stream for tonight. Yeah, I can't do it. Damn it. Alright. But, alright. That was a good one, honestly. Like, I honestly didn't know what to make of it with the whole thing about Alexei and Veronica, because, again, I didn't really know much about her, but after learning this stuff with SDC-39, and actually learning that the Emperor was the one responsible for this, and that they even had a traitor within their group being Wheel of Fortune, that was very interesting to see. And also the fact that we're talking about the invitation again, and actually having the key this time. Very cool. And the thing is, like, we always like to cross-reference stuff back from the floating records into the main story. Like, when we had the PGR collab, we went back to New Oakley, which was a place we went to with Noctis here in Sands of Wrath. And actually seeing Hong Ying after, like, what her connection was with Pulao and stuff when it came to the True Shukra chapter. And even the stuff with Noan when we ended up getting him to help us. It's like, wait, who was this guy again? And then from this whole experience, it's like, I had a whole new respect for Noan. So yeah, we'll probably come back to that whole thing with Invitation, possibly a main story. Because again, it's like, what will this open up now? What kind of possibilities await us? Or will it be like Pandora's box and something terrible could possibly happen unless we do things correctly? And again, is it like the Hetero Tower is gonna come back? Because again, supposedly this should be like before the event. Or no, actually, maybe this would be before the events of like changing with the tower and myself with Ishmael to change the future. So it's like, that's what granted us the final access into the tower. Maybe that's what it was actually trying to reference, because again, this could be taking place in Infinite Loop, like after To the Galaxies, but before this, because it talked about like, yeah, we already worked together with her with this, with the information she had given to us. So I guess maybe it would be before Wither to Shine at that point. Let me actually check. Okay, it doesn't say that directly, but if I had to assume, it probably is before that, because again, granting us access to the Hetero Tower, to then being able to make a difference for the future, but again, not seeing what exactly it does for all of Dominic's invitation. But again, that's just mere speculation. I might be completely wrong there, and again, it's talking about like stuff currently in the present, but again, we'll have to see. But yeah, alright, so now I have to do the interlude before we actually continue with the stage, so yeah, we'll have to see what exactly I'm gonna do then. So I will do an interlude stream at some point. I don't know when I would do it. I'll try to see if I can do it sometime this week before we move on to doing the Wan Shi one. It's actually, this is the first time I saw someone actually talk so much about lore related to gameplay. Yeah, because I mean, that's just how I am, because I'm always curious about this kind of stuff, because it always does come back and it makes stuff more interesting. So that's why it's like I try to relate stuff back into it, because like it'll have greater meaning, and it's like the impact of these characters is just much more meaningful that way. But yeah, I'll try to I'll see when I can do a interlude stream further down the line this week, so then we can continue with this, because I have to do the Wan Shi one. But as you can see, it's already taken me a long time to get there. But then again, I guess I could always do the filter. Yeah, so let's see. What if I do ice? Let's confirm the filtering. Ah, here we... Wait, no, that's Hypnos. Silent Night. Very cool for it. Thank you. Wait, was it Silent Night that I was talking about? Let me actually check real quick. Oh, it is, it is. Okay, so I had to do the Hypnos thing. I had to do the Hypnos interlude for like his original frame, and then we will get to this. Alright, because I'm very interested in Wan Shi. He's a really cool guy, especially from the Hawk team, so I'll be interested to see how this happens. And if I remember correctly, this is when Short Halt becomes a boss, so I'm gonna wonder how exactly does that happen, because the last time we saw Short Halt, or at least a version of him, was back in the Cradle. So how would he be back as an enemy this time? That's gonna be very interesting. And then we have this one with the Yuka Saotome enemy, I think it was, in this floating record. So that's also gonna be cool to see how that relates to something in the main, or in the floating record. And then I'll be all caught up with a real story in a PGR. Again, I know I want to finish every single interlude, and we still have these two, Floating Record 3 and Floating Record 0 that I haven't done, but those have less relevance compared to these other ones, so it's like, at least to complete 40 year that I've played this game, I want to at least get these ones which hold more relevance due to the presence of the real-time timeline in this story, so. But again, we are going to have that update with the new Bianca frame coming out, I think, at the end of this week. So that is going to be very cool to see, especially with like all the references we're having back with like Chico and Vonnegut and everybody else. It's like, what the hell is going to be going on, especially in this new timeline? Because again, it's like everything changes here. Anything from the past, it doesn't matter anymore. And Dream Till the Time is End was a great chapter for Selena, so it better be as good. And again, it needs to be good because Bianca's Stigmatic chapter wasn't the greatest chapter. If anything, it was one of the more least impactful ones of like the chapter 20s. So I'm hoping they do Bianca justice this time by making it even better. But anyway, let me give a huge shout out for everyone who showed up to the stream tonight. So shout out to ReNUEF, Dragosonic12, Yukian19, and Carefree_, for all showing up to the stream. It's great chatting with all of you. We will continue with East 9 Monstum Nox tomorrow. I'm sorry I didn't do it yesterday or the day before. I was just pretty tired by that point, so I didn't really have as much of the energy to continue at the time. And I also took the free time to grind as well, so hence why I didn't do too much then. So yeah, we will continue with East Nine Awesome Knocks tomorrow. I'll see if on Monday maybe then we can do the interlude stream, but I'm not sure. I'll have to check what my schedule is. And like I said, I will be doing a stream for my birthday on the 16th. I'll probably just be playing games like Under Night and Melty Blood type Lumina, and maybe even something else as well, just to change things up and just to have fun and talk with you guys in chat. Because I never actually do a birthday stream, so this will actually be the first time I'm doing it. But hey, it's gonna be chill. I hope you guys show up. It'll be great. But anyway, if you guys did enjoy the stream but are not already following the channel, please make sure to leave a follow. Much appreciated. Check out my YouTube channel where I post all the VODs. Subscribe to it as well. Join the Discord if you guys not already. Links to all those are on the channel. But this has been Xantos Vice. I hope you guys have a great rest of your night. I'll see you guys next time. We're out.
責任。どんなに疲弊しても仕事を続けること。あなたが休まない限りずっとそばにいますから。うん、絶対にです。それが私の責任。